Hello, everyone. My name is Noble, and we're going to be playing through this pre-release. First chance to get to play with some actual paper Throne of Eldraine cards. Really excited about it. A little bit about me. And the reason that I was chosen by Paradise Games to get to do this really cool thing for you all. Recently got first at an MCQ down in Seattle. So I'm going to Mythic Championship Richmond. Very excited about it. Also coming off a pretty good finish at a limited GP in Las Vegas. So hopefully pretty good at limited, and that wasn't just a fluke. And now we'll crack this pack, open some cards, build a sealed deck, and then play 3 rounds. I feel like I'm doing one of those unboxing videos on YouTube. Go. Alright, let's check it out. See what our promo is to start. Decent start. Linden's the Steadfast Queen. Not sure. I've been playing a lot of this set on Arena and a little bit on Magic the Gathering Online. And I've been drafting a lot of monocolor decks, but that's probably going to be less good in sealed, which means that these cards are going to be a little less good. Not quite sure how good Linden is the Steadfast Queen is going to be in sealed. So we'll see. I got a Sorceress Spyglass as my next rare. Also decent limited, but probably more of a sideboard card. When I build a pool, I like to really just start by sorting by color. I'll kind of go through each color later for the opening part. I'm just kind of going to go pretty fast. Looking good. Got a couple removal spells. Ooh, Garruk token. Let's hope we open the Garruk. Played against that card earlier today. Unbeatable. Emery, very good in standard. My next rare. Not quite as good as limited, but maybe we'll do some sweet stuff with our artifacts over here. Actually, given the amount of artifacts I've just opened, it might be pretty good. Brings back these Brimstones, Trebuchets. Put that over here. These over here. All right. Midnight Clock. This card is a mana rock. You can put hour counters on it, and then when the 12 counters put on it, you win the game. Oh no, it doesn't do that. It draws 7 cards and exiles it. Huh. Well, it wheels. Interesting. Possibly 12 hours. Possibly pretty good. Keeps me from decking at least. I can just mill my opponent out. Mystical Dispute, a Bell of the Brawl, some more artifacts. I've been really pleased with how easy it is to get artifact and enchantment synergies going in this set. There's just a ton of random artifact creatures and then at least 1 or 2 colored artifacts. And also all of the things care about artifacts and enchantments, which makes it just a lot easier to get things online. Alright, our next rare is Mirror Maid. It is an enchantment. Copies our artifacts. With Mirror Maid and Emery, I'm hopefully going to build a pretty sweet deck here that abuses all these cool artifact synergies. Ginger Brute, Constructed All-Star, Clockwork Servant. Alright. Alright, these last 2 packs opened here. Let's see what we can do. I'm really excited. I don't get to play Affinity very often. I'm getting to play it in sealed. Much cooler. Suppose I've deviated here. I should go to the back. We've got a Fairy Vandal and a Stormfist Crusader. That's pretty good. This card has really impressed me. It's probably harder in sealed, but in draft, it's been very, very good for me. This card triggers the Fairy Vandal every turn. So we can see if we potentially do that. Alright. Ooh! A Gaddock the Wizened that's foil and a Sundering Stroke. Okay, that's a pretty good last couple cards to open, if I do say so myself. A bunch of really good green and red cards. Maybe I'll looking at this pool, maybe I'll make a couple decks and switch between them. Get the full width and breadth of the experience over here. Okay. So now the next thing that I like to do is kind of split them into cards that I'm actively excited to play and cards that I'm not. So this card's very good. All of the all of the uncommon legendary knights are quite good. For white, it looks like I basically just have like a fox, a knight, and this lion's claw and trap in the tower. So I'm like pretty certain that I'm not playing white after this kind of mediocre stack. Over here, given how many artifacts, I'm going to put Manifold Tides in the cards I'm excited to play. I like Cancel a lot more in Sealed, so I'll put both of those in. Gadwick, Mirror Maid, Fair Vandal, Queen of Ice, Queen of Ice, Queen of Ice, Charm Seek, Emery. It looks like we opened about 0 unplayable blue cards, so I'm pretty sure blue is going to be one of our colors here. Let's see how this red goes. Scorching Dragonfire. This card's been very, very good. Just absolutely annihilates people, especially if you have 7 mounts in play. But even when you don't, it's just like a little more expensive and more versatile Cone of Flame. But not a ton of things that I'm excited with. Might splash some of these removal spells or something in a potential deck, but Crystal Slipper does not a good affinity deck make.
What's the name of the Cone of Flame?
Sundering Stroke. One of our rares. Quite good. Satiable Appetite. This guy plays into affinity. Some pretty good green cards here. First time Halberd is got some human nobles. Play human noble tribal. Rider. Fellow Pheasant is like probably not great in the main deck. I would probably main it in like best of 1 on Arena, but I don't need to do that here. Some pretty good green cards. So unless black really impresses me, we're looking at some blue green something. Potentially splashing this Grumgloy the Generous and a bunch of these red cards. I've been really, based on my experience with Modern Horizons, the Unicorn in that set that does a really similar thing, but does it to all creatures, not just non-human ones, and is a little smaller, was an absolute bomb. So, okay, we got Baconify, Smitten Swordmaster, Lockthwain, Paladin. I'm gonna have to be pronouncing these cards all night. I don't know how I feel about that. Well, I guess our casters will be doing it, so that will be kind of nice. Okay. So it looks like a lot of the playability of this pool comes from these like artifacts over here. Double Shambling Suit. This card's like pretty big. Ginger Brute. Walking the Henge. Bunch of Henge Walkers. Crashing Drawbridge. Roving Keep, and the Sorcerer's Spyglass. Well, if we're playing this Scarecrow, we can honestly probably play a pretty sick artifact deck. I'm going to start by seeing what that looks like. Throw a couple different decks together. So the first thing I ask myself is, like, how are we maximizing our rares, usually? Emery, at its best in this deck. Gadwick, obviously. I was pretty in on blue before I opened this Gadwick, and now that I've opened this Gadwick, I'm pretty sure that I'm not going to play anything that doesn't have blue in it. Gadwick is just an incredible bomb. And also, because it's good with mana, and also when the game goes long, I might play this Midnight Clock and shuffle my library in, and then try to deck my opponent. It's a shame you can't Blue Sun Zenith your opponent and deck them, but, you know, can't have it all. Jousting Dummy, keep. So if we look at this blue, I'm gonna like put this guy pretty solidly at like a 5-drop. I don't think I'd be happy to cast him for anything less than that. Got a lot of 3-drops, but these guys are kind of 2-drops over here that help enable this. Do we have very many ways to enable this Fairy Vandal? We have a Clockwork Servant, we have Gadwick, just enable the Tides thing, and then there's double Mirror Maid, didn't say please, which do not really enable this, but is nice with the flash. Probably playing this Midnight Clock as a mana rock, honestly. A lot of 3-drops, but all of these Queen of Ices. Oh, we have a lot of 3-drops even with all of the Queen of Ices and the 2-drops a lot. But this deck, before adding any other colors, gets to play Mirror Maid, Emery, Gadwick, which is a pretty good start as far as making sure our rares get played. I don't think my white was like really bad. Unfortunately, I think this Linden over here is not going to get played. You can throw her in the probably not playing pile. So we can play this Sundering Stroke. It's a pretty good slash, especially if we're playing something really light. But as far as green goes, this Stormfist Crusader is almost certainly not going in our deck, and not particularly powerful, while it is good. I wish I had a couple more ways to make food. I can kind of search through that. Trail of Crumbs does do that. This makes a food. But that's kind of it. Oh, Fierce Witchstalker makes a food. This is an interesting card. It's basically like, you can think about it like as a 5 mana, gain 3 life, look at the top 2 cards, get a permanent. That also just happens to, when you have other food, do some nice stuff. And these cards go pretty well in an affinity deck. So I go here. This kind of helps with my lack of removal. These Prerelease Riders beat down at least a little bit. But this green looks like it wants to be at least a little aggressive. I think I like the red more for the kind of deck that we're trying to build. Not that we can't be aggressive. We do have a bunch of like 3/3s for 3s and Queen of Ices. And kind of like try to tempo our opponent out. And I guess the Shambling Suit like does want to be attacking. Maybe this is where I want to be. Wish I had any fixing, because I would definitely be playing this Grumpily and this probably this like Sundering Stroke. But it's also nice to have a playable deck that doesn't need to splash. So if I want to play a little more grindy of a deck, I can put in some of these black cards. So there's a lot of Knights. It's kind of aggressive, but a Child of the Night, which is essentially what this card is, fits pretty well into a less aggressive shell as well. Probably on other ways to make food and do not have them, which is unfortunate, but that's one of the things that happens in Limited sometimes, that the synergies just don't quite come together. But food is artifact. I suppose Gingerbrute is a food, so you can sack it to Prerelease Rider can bait your opponent's creatures with this Gingerbrute. I think this is probably where I'm gonna start. Now I'm gonna refine this, check out where this deck is going, what it looks like. I do probably want to play this Mantle of the Tides just from our affinity theme. Well, it's not great, and we don't have a lot of ways to draw extra cards. We have the Clockwork Servant, like I said, Gadwick, and that's really it, which makes this this fairy down here quite a bit less appealing. I don't think I'd actually get to play this. Wants to be in a little more heavy green deck. Jousting Dummy, probably bad. Our only real artifact synergy is this Emery and this Mirror Maid, which is definitely worth the building around, but is potentially not enough to get us to play bad 2/1s. Because with Mirror Maid, you can copy our opponent's things. Not happy to copy a Scalding Halberdian, but it's not the worst. Shambling Suit is good to copy. Roving Keep is good to copy. Actually, not that much that I actually want to copy now that I think about it. Oh, this is Bartered Cow makes food. Copying Trapped in the Towers does some cool stuff. Lets you put them on Shroud creatures if you really want to. Weird interaction, because it's like already on the battlefield, and then the rules for auras make you attach it to something. Kind of weird. We might just not be playing Mirror Maid, now that I think about it. Because we didn't really have any enchantments that jumped out as me as like really powerful. If I was playing red, and this Brimstone Trebuchet would be part of the things that I would want. But like right now, it's like usually a 2/2 or a 2/3. So Shambling Suit is like basically the only one I want to copy. And that's just kind of sad, honestly. So I think we're taking this out. This deck is looking to go kind of long, so I could certainly see it wanting to play 2, but we can start with 1. To like Night Clock. Ramps to some of our late game, but because a lot of our 2-drops are just like pretty mana intensive. I'm gonna start not playing Midnight Clock. It is a shame to get a lot of rares that are a little better constructed, but Charm Sleep, good removal spell, pretty large 2-drop slot. I mean, winning a lot of games with Queen of Ice beatdown, it appears. I think they probably want this combat trick. This Crashing Garbage is likely bad. Oh, I guess actually having Mirror Maid be a copy of Trail of Crumbs is pretty good. I don't think it's good enough to play it, to wanna play that, and making it be food, not particularly appealing. Since I only have one way of drawing extra cards, I guess memory doesn't really count. I guess I'll probably be taking this Fairy Vandal out. Which is a shame. We'll board it in a lot. I think one of the things that people don't do enough in Limited is sideboard a little more often. In the GP, I just switch decks almost every round. And so, against a low to the ground deck, I might bring in these red cards to hamper their aggression, or if I felt like I really needed the removal. So now we just kind of look through 3, 4, 5, 6, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 24. Given how low my curve is, and that this can be cast for 4 if we want, and that Roving Keep is like basically my only top end, I actually probably would be pretty happy playing 16 lands in this deck. We do have a lot to do with our mana, especially with all these Queen of Ices, if you want to curve out most games. So it might go up to 17, but this is probably around where I'm going to end up. Like I said, I can't draw extra cards, so I think I'm probably going to cut this Mantle of Tides. It's a shame this pool would really like a couple ops. But I think just kind of counting my green cards, because in theory I'm primarily blue, but we have 8 green cards and 8 blue cards, and it's just super possible that I could be playing a different color, but all my best cards are blue, it seems to me. So black, I have this. These 10 cards to replace these green cards, so that curve looks a little more like this. A little more aggressive, but the Spell of the Brawl isn't really maximized. I think some of the best cards in this deck are blue. Like this Gatwick will hopefully just win me a lot of games. I mean, he does want you to play a lot of blue cards around him, in addition to being triple blue. I think I might sort of board into this if I feel like I need the 2 removal spells. But until then, I think this blue-green deck is a little more focused of a plan. Yeah, so I think this is pretty much what I'm going to lock in here. Pretty decent pool. There were some awkward cards that I don't feel like I'm really going to get to maximize, but happens. Might be putting this Surf Fair on the Hedge Hammer back in, but I don't have ways to pump its power, so probably not worth it. That's probably going to be the end of this build. It's Foul Iron out of here. Looks like we're playing this. This is 10, 15, 18, 20, 23 cards and 17 lands. Probably going to bias a little towards green, actually, because I want to actually be able to play these early. And so maybe we'll be playing these Handwalkers and Shambling Shoots and Clockwork Servants on blue. All right, yeah, that looks like it'll be our build. It was pretty linear. There were not too many crazy decisions, mostly because my white was really not something that I wanted to play. And my red also similarly had only a few cards, so the main decision there was black versus blue or green, and I want to try out some of these sweet synergy cards. So that's where we ended up.
So your mana base going to be 9-8 or 10-7?
Probably 9, almost certainly 9-8 in favor of green. But the triple 3 cost cards and this Gadwick
might actually make me want to go 10-7 one way or another. I think I just feel like 7 might be not enough to cast these Mirror Leaf Riders on the turns that I want them. But I have a lot of double blue. I think I might get a little risky here and go 10-7. 10-7 for blue so that I can cast these Handwalkers as 3/3s more often. And looks like that's where we'll end up.
Awesome. Thank you. We'll see you in round 1.
Yeah. See ya.
Well, hello everybody, and welcome to round number 1 here of the Paradise Games pre-release Eldraine F&M.
Yep.
I'm Alex, joined by my co-caster Jesse.
Hi.
And we just finished watching Noble build his sweet blue-green deck. It looks like it's missing a lot of the high-level rares of the format, but it's got a lot of super cool synergies going on. We're gonna be following him through this 3-round tournament.
3 rounds of Seal.
Looks like Chris, his first round opponent, has already decided to take a mulligan. And it looks like this is going to be a blue-green mirror. So, it's going to be interesting enough. Looks like a pretty reasonable hand from Noble here. You're going to have to bear with us for a little bit here, because as per usual, all these cards are new, and I'm sure everybody's having trouble seeing and reading all of them, and we're not as familiar with these cards as we are as some of the modern staples, or soon to be standard staples even. But looks like we have a Hedge Sentry, Forest, 2 islands. Is that 3 forests or just?
I think that's 3 forests.
I believe that is 3 forests. A
Emery, Lurker of the Lock.
I think so. I think there was an Emery in there.
Which is one of the spicier cards in Noble's deck. Not usually considered to be a limited all-star, but it seems to be very powerful in Noble's deck, rebuying.
Yeah, no, I actually think it's not bad in this set. I think if you just slapped it in a random set, it'd be bad. But there's enough going on.
Yeah, there's a decent amount of synergy with it in this set.
Looks like Noble's on the draw here. Turn 1, I believe that's a Curious Pair from Chris.
Make a food
going on an
token
adventure.
Go.
Yep. Looks like Forest Go from Noble, more than likely. All right.
Oh, maybe it's a Lovestruck Beast.
Ooh, that's much better. Nah, it's a food. Right? Is it a 1/1?
It's a 1/1.
Yeah.
It's a Lovestruck Beast.
Oh, wow. Yikes.
Yeah.
All right. That's way better than Curious Pair.
Considerably better than Curious Pair.
That's a big problem.
That is going to be a 5/5 pretty soon here.
Yeah. Noble's hand does not look like it had a particularly good answer to that. We've got some Hedge Sentries that we can adamant because we have 3 forests.
That is true. We do, in fact, have
that is
3 forests.
way smaller than this stupid 5/5 that's going to come down and just smash him. Especially on the draw here. This one's going to be hard to beat.
This one is indeed going to be difficult to beat.
Island here from Chris on turn 2. Smash for 1 to 19 goes Noble. And no follow-up play, so that's a relief.
Yeah.
I can't imagine 1/1 into 2-drop into
the
5/5 Beast, yeah. Yep. Smash for 1 and then bringing out the 5/5.
Here comes the Beast.
So I expect a 3/3
Island
here.
Off the top.
Island is actually a pretty good
is
draw.
a pretty good draw, but we're just going to cast our...
Hedge Sentry more than likely.
Sentry.
Enters with a +1/+1 counter. Just
3/3.
Yeah, so Hedge Sentry is just 3 mana for a 2/2 artifact, and if you cast it with Adamant, which is 3 mana of any color... Oh, it's a Shambling Suit. My bad. Shambling Suit is a 3 mana star 3 with power equal to the number of artifacts and or enchantments under your control. I know Noble does have a few of those Hedge Sentries in his deck, so I'm going to have to keep an eye out for those later. As is. This card's a 1/3, not a 3/3.
Not a 3/3.
It's even worse.
Even worse against a 5/5, as it turns out.
It's pretty similar on this board, to be honest, though.
Yeah.
It kills a 1/1 and can't even come close to tangoing with a 5/5, so... Let's see what Chris has here. I think that...
Looks like... Maybe the sleep paralysis effect?
Maybe. I don't think so, though. He's got another adventure in his hand. I can see that. It's one of the green ones, but I can't quite tell which one it is. We'll just have to see what he decides to play. If anything, it looks like Chris also is missing land here. So he's got the Lovestruck Beast, but I think he might not have a land drop this turn. Is that Run Away Together? No, you got
I think
3
that
mana
appears... I think he tapped 4 and it's a Thunderous Snapper.
Thunderous Snapper. Okay.
The Simic Uncommon.
Boy, I'm clearly just not paying any attention. Obviously, I don't know anything that's happening right now. Yeah, so this card...
Stronger glasses.
Yeah, apparently I need some stronger glasses. So here we have the Emery. Costs 1 less to cast. And it's kind of the staple rare of Noble's deck. And hopefully we're going to be able to do some of the sweet things. We get to mill 4. Nothing exciting
miss
there.
On the artifacts.
Yeah. But now we at least get to chump block this 5/5 every turn, but he also has a 4/4. So we're going to be able to, block with our Shambling Suit and then rebuy it with Emery. Mm-hmm. But a 4/4 and a 5/5.
Now that the 4/4 has joined the party,
good.
it's certainly
Definitely going to have to block
looking
here.
bad for Noble.
Yeah, we need to find a way to get rid of this 1/1. Looks like we have a combat trick. Nice.
Not sacrificing a food. I believe that's the +3/+3 sacrifice of food
To
It's
+5/+5. Insatiable appetite. I believe so as well. So we get to eat the 4/4. That's a pretty good start.
That is definitely a great start here.
So tapping 2 mana for
Is that the gargoyle?
Vantress Gargoyle?
Believe that
Oh, it
may
might
be
be
Vantress
Vantress Gargoyle.
Gargoyle.
It is. And a golden egg. Golden egg's going to draw a card here. Looks like Chris left with 3 cards in hand. So Vantress Gargoyle,
cannot attack or block.
currently. Yeah. Although Noble actually milled himself
Noble
4.
did mill himself
So
4.
he's actually
so this card is
dangerously
looking a lot
close.
more playable than it usually does.
Yeah. So here we go.
It's-
4 mana for the 4 mana 4/4 wolf that makes a food. Fierce Witch Stalker.
Great card in this set.
It is. It's quite good. 4 mana 4/4
Fantastic
trample. Great rate.
common.
Comes along with a food. It's a great card.
Yeah.
And it actually, now, somehow, Noble looks to be in a reasonable position at least until this 5/4 flyer is going to get to start attacking.
Yeah.
We're at 8, so we cannot take very many hits of a 5/4 flyer, but,
Can take exactly 1, in fact.
yeah. So we're going to be in trouble here pretty soon.
Yeah.
I got no idea what that card is, man. to be
Yeah,
honest.
that's the... It looks like a fairy. Is it the fairy that
Oh,
draws a
Tomb
card?
Raider.
Yeah,
Yes,
Tomb Raider.
yes,
Great.
yes. Excellent.
Great.
So 3 mana 1/1 flyer, draw a card, ETB.
Not quite Cloudkin Seer, but
It's good, though.
we take what we
it's
can
really
get.
good, yeah. All right, so Chris has some interesting decisions. It doesn't look like he has any good attacks, actually. You can send the 5/5 in, and the 5/5 can trade with probably just the Fierce Witch Stalker, right? Like,
Yeah.
Noble has a pretty easy double block with Witch Stalker plus the Shambling Suit. So Chris decides that's not a great trade for him. Gonna hang back.
Tend to agree.
He is going to get to activate his Gargoyle to mill both players for 1 at the end of the turn. So hopefully he's gonna be able to start attacking soon. It looks as if Noble has 5 cards in his graveyard right now. He's got the Charmed Sleep here on the Gargoyle, so shut that down before it starts. That's very important.
Is indeed.
I don't think Chris wants to activate this in response because he gives Noble Emery targets, but he goes ahead and does anyway. Noble milling over
He might have natural
a
S's in his
Queen
deck,
of
I
Ice.
guess. But that's still not great.
Yeah, if he has a naturalize effect, he
Is that a
wouldn't wanna do
questing beast in Chris's hand? I believe so.
Oh my.
Yeah, that's gonna come
Oh
down.
my.
And
That is
jam.
disgusting. Oh,
It's
this
still
deck looks
not-
pretty good
yeah,
here,
this deck
Chris.
is very, very good. I
boy.
was taking a
Oh
bit.
boy, community rating 5 stars
Yeah,
indeed.
I was taking some looks at it during deck building, and indeed,
We just got all the on-color rares here.
yeah,
is that our
we
theme?
just no Brazen Borrower, but other than that, we're jamming.
All right, that seems pretty reasonable.
Questing Beast actually still doesn't look great on this board.
Yeah, it still only trades, but it does at least open up good attacks, because if the Questing Beast comes down, then the 5/5 itself becomes much more open to blocking, because
Absolutely.
Noble's going to have to deal with both big creatures. And suddenly the
Looks like
trades
we're
looks
not
much better.
casting Questing Beast before combat.
Yeah,
here,
just
interestingly
a
enough.
cheeky attack for 1, put Noble down to 7. But that's not a huge problem. We do have that food, so Noble at an effective 10 here. But he kind of wants to keep that food in play because it is giving his Shambling Suit 1 power.
Is that a Garenbrig Paladin? I believe
I think so. I believe
Cast
that
with
is
Adamant.
Garenbrig Paladin with Adamant. So just a 5 mana 5/5.
Can't be blocked by creatures with
blocked.
power 2 or less.
Yep. Which Noble's deck does have a lot
Noble
of.
does have many of those.
Looks like Noble does actually end step want to sacrifice a food to gain 3 life. So it will
I
shrink.
like that.
It will shrink his guy, but yeah, I don't hate it. Looks like the I believe this is the 7-mana artifact, roving battlement station,
yeah.
something like that. I know the first word's roving. It's a 7-mana 5/7 with Defender, and it has haste. It has a 7-mana activated ability that says it gets +2/+0, loses Defender, and can attack this turn. So either way, it's huge, and it's like way bigger than anything Chris has going on. Chris is kind of left with this dumb Tome Fairy.
Blocks pretty well.
To kind of attack.
Roving
Keep. That was close.
Yeah, you were. Better than I could get.
You don't know janky commons yet? You don't know the janky commons?
I have not played
artifact commons yet?
Played quite enough. I have not played quite enough of the unplayable commons to know Roving Keep. I've only played 2 sealeds.
I'm in like 3 or 4 currently. You can see Noble sleeving up his sideboard cards in the middle of this game. Already knows what's coming in for the next one. All right, so we've got. I believe that is the 5-mana draw 3 scry 3 if it has adamant that I can't remember the name of in Chris's hand. That was his draw for the turn.
Yeah. Strong card looks pretty good here.
It does. This is the. I think that's the Mana Dork.
Oh,
the Oath.
The
Acolyte, Rosethorn Acolyte.
Yeah.
Is that it? I believe that is the Rosethorn Acolyte. It is a 3-mana 2/3 with tap and a mana of any color, and it also has an adventure called Seasonal Ritual. Yeah, Seasonal Ritual. It's up there. That is green, add 1 mana of any color, so it just color fixes you. Obviously, in Sealed, we're not doing anything ridiculous with this Seasonal Rituals and we're mostly just playing
casting Thousand Year Storm, for example. That's not happening here.
Yeah, we definitely didn't do that a little earlier, but so we're mostly just playing this for the 3-mana 2/3 that
Clockwork
Servant.
Also a phenomenal 3-mana 2/3.
Absolute all-star, I think. It's my early pick for one of the better commons in the set. Oh, it's a non-common. Never mind. But it's really good. It's going to be good in your deck.
Looks like we're out-muscling
the Garenbrig
Paladin, which I think is
pretty reasonable.
Quite reasonable.
And then an attack for 5 with 5/5 with Indestructible. Obviously a good attack. Chris is either taking 5 or he's just going to have to chump a thing away. Take 5 seems pretty likely here, given that we're at 20.
Yeah,
and Chris
still at 20.
Go to a draw step here. Forest off the top for Chris. This draw 3 scry 3 is looking pretty good right now.
That's just the draw 4, right?
You're right.
Yeah, that's just the opportunity, but it costs 1 less sometimes and 1 more sometimes.
2 less sometimes. Yeah, it costs 2 less if they have 7 or more cards in their graveyard, I believe. It costs 3 less. Wow. And I believe Noble did in fact have 7 cards in his graveyard, so he gets that bonus. 7 cards in his graveyard also means that if this Vantress Gargoyle ever gets unslept, we're going to have an answer. It looks like Chris drew an Animating Fairy.
Makes his Golden Egg into a 4/4.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Quite honestly, not the worst.
And then it's a 2/3 flyer, and
2/3
flyer is very good right now.
Snowball into a 3-turn clock.
Yeah. Looks like Chris went with the Questing Beast this turn. He's just gonna go ahead and leave it back on defense. So Questing Beast played does not attack. That's not really the mode you want to see on that card.
Not generally what you're wanting to be doing.
That Brave Fairy continuing to send itself in there. 8-turn clock now for Noble. Forest off the top.
Looks like we're casting Blue Sun Zenith.
Well, if we drew our Gadwick, maybe. We also only have a single island, and we drew another forest. That is not good.
This is the stuff of nightmares.
Yeah. Okay.
Still no Emery targets in the graveyard?
No, still none. Oh, we're being told that there is a second island. There is a second island in that stack of forests. But we are still short the island necessary to be able to cast our Gadwick. I believe Noble only played 6 islands in his deck.
That sounds right to me.
It's pretty greedy, but hopefully between wanting to cast Gadwick on like turn 10 or 11 and just having ways to filter and hang on with Emery, he'll be able to find his islands he needs. But right now we still are going to need answers to these these big things. So it looks like Chris is going to animate his golden egg, or a food token, probably. What is happening here? This must be a different.
Oh, it's a Flaxen Intruder.
Oh, it's a Flaxen Intruder.
Yikes.
Oh boy.
That makes the 3 bears, and then Goldilocks is probably going to come down as well.
Yeah, might as well.
She hasn't already. I think she's cast both the adventure and the 1/2
looks like Chris
half.
is going to combat here. Debating what his attacks are.
Think that
That is the Questing Beast and
it
the
looks
Fairy.
like the Questing Beast and the Fairy are coming in.
Looks like Noble wants to trade his Roving Keep for the Questing Beast.
Goes to 7.
Oh, excuse me.
Now Noble on his turn can just... What did he draw?
It's an adventure.
Some kind of
I
adventure.
cannot tell which one.
But now Noble has the option to rebuy that Roving Keep with Emery.
Yeah,
which
which
is
is just going to be good.
Great
Yeah.
in the late game.
We're approaching the point where Noble's going to just want to start paying 7 and attacking.
Yeah, Noble is going to start paying 7 and attacking, and it's going to be... he's going to turn his
Looks
Roving
like
Keep
Noble's
into the
about
Abyss.
to attack, probably with this 5/5 as well here pretty soon. I guess Chris did just make 3 2/2s.
Chris made
so
3 2/2s.
getting through all those is not the best.
And...
Oh, and it looks like we
we're-
are going to counter unless you pay 2 or something.
I think that's... I don't think you can... Wait. Was that not the Fairy adventure? No, it was something
It
else.
must not have been.
It can't have
Yeah,
been.
it looks to have
But-
been a counter spell of some kind. Hypnotic Sprite. Yeah.
Wait.
Counter target spell with converted mana cost 3 or less. Yeah. That is a
Did
not
that just
gonna
counter...
work.
Wait a second. That doesn't work. That cannot counter the Roving Keep.
Yeah, that card has CMC 7.
Oh, Roving...
Roving Keep is still on the battlefield. The X3 is in the
Oh, the X3 is what we traded off
Got
last
it.
turn.
Got
Great.
it.
Okay, that makes
Thank you very
a
much to
lot
the
more
producers.
sense.
Okay. Noble checking out his sideboard. And then it looks like Noble went ahead and played the first half of an adventure. I'm not certain
Is it
which
the
adventure. Is it the Tree
Folk? That's
the
what I was
true
thinking.
Tree Folk. So 4 mana, put 2+1/+1 counters on a creature. 6 mana, 6/5.
Yep.
I believe that is
Pretty
what it is.
reasonable.
And so I think that Noble elected to attempt to replay his 3 mana artifact, and then it got countered.
Sprited.
And then he went and played the first half of the Twin Veil Tree Folk.
Now Noble is on a much faster clock in the air, which means he's going to start having to retaliate.
Well, it's still only 1, right?
Well, I imagine that Chris is going to cast his
Yeah.
2 mana 2/1 flyer.
Yeah, almost certainly. That is... Oh, is that Wildborn? Oh, no, it's the Marwyn...
Yeah, the
the
3/1.
2 mana 3/1 with Sacrifice of Food, Marleaf Rider.
Yeah.
2 mana 3/1, Sacrifice of Food. Target creature blocks Marleaf Rider this turn if able. Okay. Got that, and there is the Flaxen Intruder. And the Hypnotic Sprite as well. And last card in Chris's hand... Is that the Moonlit... No.
I think it's the wolf that makes the 4 mana 4/4 trample that makes food.
I agree. I believe it is that. The Witch Stalker.
Fierce
Witch Stalker. Yes. Alright. Noble untaps, draws card for turn. Trail of Crumbs. Pretty good here, actually.
Yeah.
He's going to go ahead and sacrifice a food, pay the 1, look at the top 2, try and find a creature, presumably, to put into his hand. Well, we did hit one. And we might as well just cast our Scalding, or we found a Scalding Cauldron, which is a 1 mana artifact that says 3 tap, deal 3 damage to target creature.
That's gonna get this 2/1 out of the
Yeah,
skies, I imagine.
It's actually pretty nice right now. Any of our food that we Noble manages to find for the rest of the game, we're also going to be able to upgrade into another card.
Yes, which is
It's even better than draw a card. It's upgrade into the best of 2.
The best
has
of-
to be a permanent, but we're not shy of those
Generally.
unsealed.
Yeah.
What is this thing?
That appears to be the 6/5.
The
Tree
Twin
Folk
Veil
as
Tree
well?
Folk?
Yeah.
I agree. So
I think it was the first and then the second half.
I agree. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Put the counters on the sprite, and then I think Noble just will let this resolve. But
it only
he
puts
has
2
the,
counters and it's a 2.
He has
sure.
the Cauldron that he can use.
Got going on here. Being able to rebuy the Cauldron every turn with Emery is
very, very good.
great
Yeah.
inevitability.
Ooh, Chris sending with everything here.
Jam.
All right, so Cauldron's gonna take out the flyer, the Hypnotic Sprite, and then we're gonna have to go to blocks here. So we still have our Roving Keep. We have our Assembly Servant, or the 3 mana 2/3 with Adamant draw card.
Yeah.
And then looks like 3 2/2s. So it looks like Noble's going to be taking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 by my count. No, it looks like 9. Yep. Whew, boy,
All right.
what a slog.
Tight game.
Yeah. Boy, these are some new cards, man.
These are in
Everything's
fact
going
some
on.
new cards.
Been playing with the set a little bit, but I'm sure you guys are struggling along with us at home to see what all of these cards are. Thankfully, we have our producer here on site who's helping us out with everything, so we got to say thanks to that. As is, looks like we're going to the sideboard. We did manage to catch Noble slipping those black cards in his pool into some sleeves, so we'll have to see if
Indeed.
Noble ends up going into his black sideboard package. Looks like Chris is just shuffling up. He's
Yep.
happy enough with his
I mean, I
game
would
1 performance.
think I would be too in his position.
I'd be happy enough with that. It's like, yeah, good job, deck. I drew my rares. I drew them on
Yep,
curve.
just
I
like
played them. They were good.
Crushed a Love
Yeah.
Struck Beast and a Questing Beast. We're just like big green beast tribal.
Yeah, that's a pretty good place to
Beat
be
'em up.
sealed usually.
Yeah, as it turns out,
Here we
big
see
green creatures.
Noble and
Not
Chris hanging out, looking at their sideboard options. I am curious to see if Noble goes into the black. What do you think about Noble going into black for games 2 and 3?
I tend to believe that Noble going into black here is good.
I think I'm on that side as well.
Chris seems to have a bunch of pretty big, dumb creatures that are easily baked into pies.
I don't think Noble... Does Noble have any bacon to pies?
I think he has a bacon to a pie. I
Okay.
believe. I could be wrong. But assuming that Noble gets access to a little bit more removal.
Yeah, it's a little bit more removal. A couple, 2/1s with lifelink that admittedly didn't look that good here. Because it's tough because, maybe we want to go into, a little splash, but the little splash isn't quite where we want to be with his black cards, because none of them are quite that powerful, except for maybe the bake into a pie,
Yeah.
but, being a double color card, that's much more difficult. Looks like Noble is going to take out quite a few cards here and go much heavier one color. Looks like he's putting in islands.
So it looks like he's cutting his green, which I think is correct, considering
cutting
his
some green
2
and-
best rares are in blue.
And is adding some black, presumably. Looks like he's taking a
Gonna
quick
go
break here.
Go grab some
potentially.
swamps, I believe.
Yeah.
Or maybe more islands.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Um,
Alright.
Perfect.
So, yep, looks like he is going
he's
to get
getting
a couple
2
more
more
islands. So, looks like he's just diving into his blue harder
his
post-board games.
Blue a little bit harder.
So,
I mean, Gadwick would have been absolutely nuts in any at any point in that board state.
it absolutely would have. At any point before the point where we were dead.
Well, yeah,
Obviously.
I mean,
But I think a few more islands is a reasonable call here. We just want to make sure that we aren't... it's probably mostly just Noble has blue cards that he wants to bring in and green
Yeah.
cards he wants to take out, and he just wants to make sure his mana supports that. So obviously makes a lot of sense. And there's also real upside of being able to cast our Gadwick more often.
yes, absolutely.
So looks like Noble's happy with his sideboard plan. Chris already done, sleeved it back up. I don't think he made any changes. I wasn't paying the closest attention, to be honest, but I think he kind of just sleeved it back up.
I imagine that if he
Sleeved it
had
back up.
Return to Natures in his sideboard, he would have brought them in.
Almost certainly, yeah.
So, and I do believe I remember seeing some in his pool.
Okay.
Before this.
So
match.
yeah,
So
he probably brought some in.
I would imagine that that's happening.
Surprisingly potent sideboard card.
Yeah.
This hand looks
Legacy
like it has a
playable.
lot of lands in it and not very many spells in it or a lot of spells and not very many lands from Noble's side. Looks like Noble's taking a quick mulligan on the play here for game number 2 if he chooses to be. Sealed's always kind of
Sealed
that
is always a...
questionable zone where maybe you want to be on the play, you can definitely choose to be on the draw, and it's right a lot, but even then it's probably wrong more than you want it to be,
I think
you know?
that the last time that it was 100% right was Dominaria. But
Yeah, I agree. Looks like Chris kept his hand and we're underway. So this is, in fact, Charmed Pair.
Charmed Pair, make a
So,
food go.
Make a food. We got a 1-3 on suspend here.
Do indeed.
Let's see what Chris is up to. Looks like he did bring in that Return to Nature. I think I see one in his hand now. He's got a Forest Go from
Total of
Chris.
smashing some pumpkins.
Oh, yeah. And there's that Curious Pair from Noble. Getting a full value
Yeah, we
here on
are
the first
getting-
2 turns.
So much value. Just
Yep.
2-for-1s for days. This set is so strong.
All right. 2 mana here from Chris.
That may very well be the first creature to have the card type Peasant.
I would have to
However,
look at
however,
Innistrad, but I'm not sure.
I don't think Innistrad has any Peasants, but I could imagine there being, like, in early sets back when we had such innovative card types as Summon Rock Sled.
Yeah,
that,
maybe.
there may be a
Maybe
Peasant.
a peasant in there. Some Arabian Nights or something.
Yeah.
All right, so it looks like both decks actually kind of firing on pretty high cylinders here. So Chris on turn 2 plays a Vantress Gargoyle, passes back to Noble. Noble plays his
Noble
Emery, and
immediately
then
plays directly into the
accidentally
Genesis Phantasm.
flipped an extra card there and just gave it a shuffle.
Giving a
But obviously we're playing an F&M
Casual
pre-release here, so
REL.
not a big deal. Looks like we milled our Gadwick, so that's unfortunate. And
yeah.
a Queen of Ice, and I don't think we hit any artifacts.
that is just about the worst you can possibly see.
There might be an artifact in there. There is a 3-drop artifact. Okay. So one of the Hedgestalker or the Suit of Armor that I keep spacing on the name of,
Yeah,
but
it's,
the 3-mana
mana.
star 3.
Yeah.
All right. Looks like it is, in fact, a Hedgewalker. Okay. So we have a...
I have no idea.
Is that a Mirror Maid?
A Mirror Maid?
That's what
I
I
did not
thought.
know that Mirror Maid was in Noble's deck.
Yeah, I missed that too. So Mirror Maid comes in as a gargoyle.
So sick.
That's probably
All right.
in his sideboard, actually, and he
yeah,
probably
that
brought
would
it
make
in.
sense.
That makes quite a bit of sense. I don't know. If I
that
was
a
Noble,
questing
I think
beast?
I would.
Jeez. It's absurd.
Can Noble block? Noble cannot block.
This
He
is
only has
a
2
nice
cards in
game
his
of
hand.
Constructed we've got going on over here.
Yeah, so Noble down to 16 here. Just gets smacked by a questing beast and takes it on the lip here. So
I
we
would imagine
can
that
tap
we're
our Emery to
in
play
casting a 3/3
our
from graveyard
Hedgestalker.
range, yeah.
It's only a 2/2 though, because we do not
we
have.
don't have a third color.
Adamant, yeah.
Oh, no.
So we are casting
By
a
third color,
2/2.
I mean third source of one color.
Yeah, which is obviously not very good. But it looks like
Yeah.
our hand has a few uncastable cards in it. Otherwise, we would obviously be playing our anything better than a 2/2 for
Yeah.
3 here. Both players mill 1. Chris puts something into his graveyard. Can't quite see what it is. Noble mills
I think it's the Paladin.
a forest.
Garen Break Paladin.
Garenberg Paladin. I agree. Noble builds forest. Noble really looking for just artifacts to hit. Just anything. Like anything that's better than a 4-mana or a 3-mana
Anything that is
2/2
better
that also
than
taps my 2/2.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, this is looking to be a rough one for Noble.
Yeah,
but
we
then
still-
again,
like, we
Questing
can-
Beast on turn 4
we
is
can do
pretty
some-
hard to beat.
Some blocking here, but none of it's good.
Can we even do some blocking here?
Well, we have 3 cards in our hand currently, so no, we really can't.
We just
we have a
literally
1/3 and a
can't do any
2/2,
kind of blocking.
so unless we want to get both of our things eaten, the blocking is terrible. Chris with 4 cards in hand, and Noble just about ready to have 7 in his graveyard. He's got 4 right now. There is the 3 mana.
It's a golden
3
egg.
mana golden egg. It's a golden egg. You're right.
Yeah.
Attack
Emery
4
did.
4. That was our only attacks.
Yep.
Looks like Noble go to 12.
Actively cannot block this questing beast
Go
because
ahead
it
and play
has the line of text cannot be blocked by
Creatures
with
with
power
power
2
2
or
or
less,
less, yeah.
along with every other
line of
just
text.
as kind of the flavor text tacked onto the paragraph.
Yeah, and it
that
looks
we've
like
got
here's
going on in
the
that text
rose.
box.
Oh, it's the Love Struck Beast.
Love Struck Beast, phenomenal.
2. Oh my.
That card is beatable.
You know, it might it might have been. Hey, our Gargoyle can block now though. At least.
Our Gargoyle
We have 4 cards in our
can
hand.
trade with any of any of Chris's
Really big creatures.
massive
That's a start. That's a
dumb
start, man. Noble
attackers.
correctly identifies that he does not want to have 7 cards in his graveyard and does not activate his Gargoyle. So now the real question is, we have to trade with the Questing Beast, right?
believe so.
And then we'll just take
Just
5.
take 5 down to 8, 7.
Yep, down to 7. All right.
Um,
we're doing all right. Not good, but all right. Up to 5 cards in our graveyard now, I believe.
Noble is looking to be in a pretty bad spot.
Yeah, this graveyard count thing is pretty important.
It
Really,
is
also.
very, very important.
Cannot quite tell what that one is. Is it the Snapper, the 4 green-blue hybrid turtle?
Yeah,
Is the Thunderous Snapper.
of course.
We've already played all of our huge creatures.
We've already played. Oh, not the pheasant.
Fell the Pheasant. Interesting that Noble boarded that one in. That makes sense. We did see quite a few flyers, but I'm not super into felling any pheasants that are like, Tome Fairies or anything.
Yeah.
The really only big target is the Vantress Gargoyle.
Vantress Gargoyle. I mean, I don't hate.
But at least we hit it.
So yeah. To be fair, in game 1, there were not many worlds in which, if the board stall continued, Noble was going to be able to beat the 2/1 flyer.
It's true. It's
so
true.
I think that it is a pretty reasonable call here.
All right, so it looks like Twinvale Treefolk is going to be the play from Noble this turn. He's going to put 2+1/+1 counters onto his Hedgestalker, his Hedgewalker, whichever one of those it is, and make it a 4/4. Great. Well,
Yeah.
Now we can
Now
almost
we can
tassel with this
almost
5/5 here.
Deal with this.
We can beat the
Love
Snapper
Struck
at
Beast.
least.
It's
There's
true.
another egg.
Another egg.
Gonna lead
May
to an
I
island
offer
off
you
the top.
a nice egg in this trying time,
I believe
says
Chris
Chris.
still has his Return to Nature in hand. He's gonna go ahead and use it to blow up this Hedgestalker.
Yep. This is not where Noble wants to be right now.
Yes, we've got like a
Definitely
chump block on a
chumping.
5/5. We're taking 4 down to 6. We've got our Emery for next turn, but we really need to hit a land. But we also need to hit spells. This is not going very well.
We're just super dead. It's like if we Emery to make a 3/3,
Emery to make a 3/3,
and
sack
then
of
sack of
food.
food up to 9, and we still, what was the last?
Charmed
It
Sleep.
was a,
That's a good start.
oh, that is a good start.
Yeah. So we get to Charmed Sleep to keep that Love Struck Beast tapped down, and then Trail of Crumbs.
Yeah.
Crumbs makes another food.
That's
and
actually
means that
going to be pretty
as
relevant
long as
here.
we can survive here, we actually do have a pretty powerful engine starting to turn on.
do.
We have two food tokens already. We're
Thankfully,
gonna have to,
Chris's haste creature is out of his deck at this point.
gonna have to bounce with the spider with our Emery, and we'll take another 4 from this big turtle.
It's one thick turtle.
Yep, there's another Garenbrig Paladin with Adamant, so it is a 5/5 that cannot be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less, which we have plenty of.
We do have a surplus of creatures with power 2 or less.
Looks like Noble's gonna try and play the Hedgestalker from his graveyard. Nope, just go ahead and sack a food and leave up an Adamant activation, looks like, as opposed to leaving up multiple colors.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting choice here on whether or not you want to leave up blue, green, green, or green, green, green.
I think green, green, green is correct, considering we have the Hedgestalker in our graveyard to buy back this turn if we choose to.
Yep, I tend to agree. Looks like a land off the top for Noble will be the choice. And then we're going to go ahead and play our
Mr.
3/3 from our
Hedgestalker.
graveyard. with Adamant, and then it looks like Noble did the math here, and that will do
That
it.
is
So
the end. Well,
Quick,
our hero quickly 2-0'd.
quickly dispatched by blue-green better.
Indeed.
You know,
Blue,
it's one of
green,
the
big boys.
It's one of the things of Sealed. You know, a lot of people love it, a lot of people hate it. Where, you know, at the end of the day, sometimes you're just gonna sit down and your opponent's gonna be at a
Opponent's
real
gonna
advantage over you.
Have the bombs.
Some people like that, some people don't. But regardless, I do not think it played well to Noble's advantage this time. Lovestruck Beast and the Lovestruck Beast and Questing Beast. The Beastie Bros.
The Beastie Boys.
The Beastie Brothers.
Beastie Boys were
pretty
taking Noble.
pretty excellent in Sealed. Not that
Yeah.
anybody really needed
Right.
confirmation
Not
on that.
Not that
But in
was,
case you're opening those
really
on
up
Arena
for
later
debate
tonight,
or
I think you should play them.
doubt.
Yeah.
Uh,
Alrighty. So that leaves us with about 15 minutes left on the round, which is just enough time for us to thank some of our sponsors really quick. So I would love to give a shout out to Advancify. Advancify is owned by our friends Matt and Kevin. They do great web design, IT, data recovery. I am a big fan of their work. I've seen a few of their websites. Everything looks great. So if you're in the market for anything web design, IT related, highly recommend that you guys go ahead and check out the link
them out.
on the screen right now. They do great work, and tell them that we sent you, and they'll be super happy to hear that. Super big thank you to those guys for helping out with the stream. With that, we're going to go ahead and leave you with some music for a little bit until the beginning of the next round, so please enjoy some Hot Damn Scandal.
The bottom fell out of the clouds today, and the rain came down like a mirror. One big sheet and it shattered on the ground. Now it's 7 years of bad luck all over this town. It's collection time on all of your debts, and you can't get by just talking. Your smile don't work, and your car don't start, and your doors ain't keeping you alone. No, not even if you lock them. No, not even if you lock them. When you're tapped into that vital vein, just about anything feels good. The sun tried shining on a lost boy's eyes. They reflected oh so pretty, but it's cold behind them golden shores, and the sweet light wasn't nothing more than their own damn wishing, 'cause they just don't listen. Now wish on your candles, pray to your God, cry for your mama, put $1 on the bar. It feels like breathing, but the only good feeling ain't a gamble is a sin. So I think I'll play it safe and get a gin. I'll take the devil for a spin. When you're tapped into that vital vein, just about anything feels good. For some the morning brings another day, but all it does for me is shine an ugly light around in the room that I've been hiding in. Now I take the easy way, yeah, that gets harder every day, but I ain't here to fix myself. I'm just trying to blind these eyes from hell. When you're tapped into that vital vein, just about anything feels good.
playing blue-black now.
Okay, hello.
Welcome back to round 2 of our pre-release.
Watching our noble hero, noble
victories.
Down but not out. We have Albert, it appears, for round number 2 as our next challenger. Noble told me that he did sideboard his deck into the blue-black deck.
Yep.
For match number 2. So we'll see how that goes. Looks like rolling to see who goes first. Not sure who won. Not sure what Albert is playing yet either, but I'm sure we will find out shortly. All right, let's take a look at our opening hands. Okay.
Looks as though Noble's got
Lands and spells.
And
Keep.
spells, indeed.
Looks like black-green
Rule
for Albert.
Of sealed.
Is that what it
Lands
looks
and
like?
Spells keep.
Yep,
Black,
green.
white, Abzan maybe.
Oh, did you see
There
white
might
cards
be
too?
a white card.
Okay.
Is that a white card?
I think
The
it's
second
green,
from the right.
but it could be white with a little bit of glare. All right, so it looks like Forest Swamp for Albert. Noble on his usual swamp, trying to get that adamant value. He's got a bunch of 3-drops with adamant, so pretty slow start here for Albert. Noble has at least something going on here. That appears to be Lost Legion. Excellent.
That card's great.
So 3 mana, 2/3, enters battlefield, scry 2. I'm a pretty big fan of how many just random like scry effects they put on cards in this set.
Yeah.
My immediate take is that it's going to make the games feel a lot smoother and make you just feel better playing them.
Absolutely.
Albert here with the Hedge Walker. Hedge Stalker. Henge Walker.
Henge Walker.
I-
Hedge Walker. Hedge Stalker.
I'm close. I'm close every time. Regardless, he does have Adamant, so that is a 3 mana 3/3 on turn 4 here.
I'm definitely always in favor of Wizards trying to keep the feel-bads like being mana screwed or mana flooded.
So this is Reaper
of
of Night,
games.
the adventure of which says target opponent discards 2 cards. It's Mind Rot for 4 mana. And then Harvest Fear being that card title. And then for 7 mana, it is a 4/5, and when it attacks, if the opponent has 2 or less cards in their hand, it gains flying. So pretty potent late game card, very good in sealed, I've found.
Absolutely.
Been quite impressed with it. Albert
And-
discarding 2 cards I did not get a good look at.
I didn't
so
either. No,
attack for 3 and then
Jam
slam another 3/3 because the first one was so good. Why fix something that isn't broken? Another island off the top here for Noble.
no.
Alright, looks like we are casting our own Henge Walker, with
Noble, yes.
with Adamant.
Noble at
3/3 to match.
17, notably, here.
Yes, not one. Not one. We are at more than 1. Alright, looks like 2 Henge Walkers getting into the red zone here. Noble's going to block one of them. And then I believe that is the 4 mana 3/2 with the adventure that is 2 mana +2/2. So Noble's going to go ahead and take 3, get his Henge Walker eaten by the other Henge Walker, Garenbrig Carver. Yes. That is the one. Alright. Noble looks as though we have another Reaper of Night entering. No, that can't be Reaper of Night. Oh, it's the 2 mana 2/1 Curry Favor and the Smitten Swordmaster.
Indeed.
So he got to drain his opponent for 1, and then he's going to go ahead and cast the other half of the Smitten Swordmaster. Gain a life, deal your opponent a damage. You know,
Stabilize a little bit here.
yeah, not too relevant, but you might as well basically kick her black on that card. The Curry Favor part has not been too relevant and limited, I've found, but I have died to it in Constructed.
I've killed my opponent with it in limited once.
Oh, that's pretty
It's
good.
not bad.
All right. Tempting Witch here
Tempting Witch, pretty good.
from Albert. When it's a Deathless Knight? Looks like there's a Deathless Knight somewhere hanging out.
Oh, I believe the Deathless Knight may be in the graveyard.
Yeah,
It
it
was
was discarded
the
to
Mind Rot.
one of the Mind Rots. Tempting Witch on Noble's side, however. Looks like he is going to go ahead and establish a double block on one Henge Walker, and then go ahead and have a trade with the other one. Deathless Knight is currently attacking. Got it. Got blocked by the Smitten Knight. Excellent. All right. Thank you for clearing that up.
Oh, yeah. That card is...
Oh, yeah, it has
Pretty
haste. I
decent.
forgot about that. Yeah.
There's a whole lot of haste and green this
so
time around.
Emery coming down here. Looks like we milled one of the suits of armor, the 3-mana star 3 that I can't remember the name of.
Shambling...
Suit? Shambling suit?
Shambling suit? I would
Shambling
believe
suit
that.
sounds right. Something like that.
Just throwing cards around.
What's going on here? Looks like...
Scalding Call.
Is that the Garenbrig Paladin again?
I do believe so.
Yeah. Looks like Garenbrig Paladin. And then an attack for 3, which Noble takes. We've got the Emery activation here, bringing back a Scalding Cauldron. It looks like Noble's Graveyard is just off the screen, off the bottom here. But I think the cards of note are the Scalding Cauldron. And I think there might be one other, the Shambling Suit as
Shambling
well.
Suit.
Epic Downfall is going to go ahead and take down the Garenbrig Paladin. And then an attack for 2.
Attack in for 2.
Yeah. Albert, of course, Hellbent. No cards in hand. Noble just waiting on any land to be able to start casting, to be able to cast a 4/5. So that's pretty good. And then it looks like a quick trade there. Another, I believe that was another Hengewalker off the top there for Noble. Attack with a 2/3, see if Albert wants to trade with his 3/2. Albert will accept a trade. Activation of Emery brings back a Hengewalker.
Walker, great.
With a counter. Another Hengewalker from hand. And, well, suddenly Noble's in a very commanding position.
Noble has
another
gone
land
from-
off the top from Albert. That's a lot of mana,
Nice.
but I think he's going to be basically dispatched here really quickly. This is an attack for 8. Go ahead and cast a 4/5 that will have flying. And to yet another land means that we're going to be moving on to game number 2 here. Quick and easy, that one.
Quick and easy indeed.
Yeah. Pretty standard game. One player drew a few too many lands, a couple of mind rots, and then
Yeah,
all of
a
a sudden you
couple
got
mind
some
rots and
some
everything
3/3s
goes south.
gunning them down.
Yeah.
All right. So looks like we're gonna check out our sideboard here. We did mention Noble transitioning his deck to blue-black instead of the green-black or the green-blue that it was before. Still have the Emerys, still have the Gadwick.
Yep. Still keeping our best rare.
Get a few extra tools here. The Epic Downfall,
The
I
Epic
think,
Downfall,
being the
very,
biggest
very
one.
nice.
Epic Downfall is a huge, like, it's so good. Like, it's 2 mana.
It's just like it is practically
It
unconditional.
kills
removal.
all of the things that you would ever want to kill.
May as well be Doom.
For the most part, and like the only one there's a few 2 mana rares that you'd want to kill.
Right.
But it's mostly like a Wildborn Preserver and Piper of the Swarm.
Yeah.
But like for the most part, in any reasonable game of Limited, it's gonna kill what you want to kill. All right. Looks like both players doing a quick sideboard job, shuffling up and getting ready to go into game 2 here. Noble's gonna be on the draw. And let's see how these opening hands look. Looks like quite a few islands, no swamps for Noble. Oh, there is a
there's
swamp.
a swamp.
All right. Looks
Lands
like
and
lands and
spells.
spells.
Keep it.
Welcome to Sealed. Albert with another mulligan. Yuck. So we've got 2 mulligans on the side of Albert. That's pretty unlucky in Sealed.
Yeah.
Assuming you've constructed your deck reasonably, you're more than likely just going to end up with a keepable hand. And granted, I don't know, I tend to keep more hands than a lot of people in Sealed because I'm just a fan of, like, even if I miss my land drop for a turn, I do like to get there, but even if I miss my land drop per turn in Sealed, I'm usually not too worried about it, you know?
That's fair. Just so long as it isn't turn 2.
Yeah. Like, if I miss my 3rd or 4th land for a few turns, it's usually not that bad.
Yeah.
Because most people are doing nothing enough of the time that it's okay.
Exactly.
Looks like found a keepable hand. Things starting off here. Couple forests for Albert. Couple islands for Noble. Noble does manage to find a Scalding Cauldron. Looks like Albert is going to go on an adventure with a Beanstalk Giant. Gonna go find a basic, presumably a swamp. I don't think he has any in play yet. And then it'll get to come down as a 7 mana 7/7 ish later. And it only gets bigger. Beanstalk Giant
Does only get
very, very good, I've found.
one of the best uncommons in the set, I believe.
It's definitely up there. It's really, really powerful. Noble's third turn here. Go ahead and take in a think. Looks like no land drop go. Yikes.
That is
Does
not
have an
what
epic
you wanna
downfall in his
see.
hand, so at the very least we're going to be okay if Albert plays something like the 4-mana haste or the Garenbrig Paladin.
Yeah.
There's the land off the top. It's a swamp, so no adamant yet, but it looks
Epic
like Noble's
Downfall,
going to hit him with the
notably,
Mind Rot.
Is a sorcery, which makes it a little bit more
It
awkward
is,
for
it
the
is. Yeah.
knight that comes back.
Alright, so Reaper of Night going to make Albert discard 2 cards there. Looks like he discards land and a spell that I missed. Unfortunately, Albert has found the perfect place with Glare to place his graveyard. So, having trouble seeing those, but it didn't look too relevant, so I'm not going to worry about it. Alright.
Looks like he discarded 2 basics.
2
off that
basics,
Mind Rot.
excellent. So we've got another land off the top for Noble, and it looks like a Queen of Ice in hand.
Yep.
Noble's going to play the Tempting Witch. 3-mana, 1/3. You can pay 2 mana and tap it, and sacrifice a food, and target player loses 3 life. So kind of the
Reverses.
the reverse
foils,
food,
the
yeah. Beanstalk Giant on turn 6 here with his 7 lands from Albert. I expect an epic
There
downfall.
goes-
Oh, don't, just
Oh,
a
we're
Queen
just
of
gonna-
Ice.
just gonna
Yeah.
Queen of Ice
So
for now.
1 in a blue, tap target creature. It doesn't untap during its next step. During its owner's next untap step. And then just go ahead and cast the Queen of Ice herself, which is a 2/3 with the same text, but whenever it deals combat damage to a creature.
Also one of the better commons in the set.
Yeah, Queen of Ice is very powerful, I think. I very much like it. We have a bacon to a pie in our hand, and at this point we do have a pretty commanding board position, and it looks like the life total is going to start falling
Yeah.
here to represent that. And if we can just keep the tempo up here while we have some removal spells, things should go pretty well for us. It looks like Reeve Soul is going to take out our witch here. Another land off the top for Noble.
Got a whole lot of sorcery speed removal in this
Yeah, well,
set.
now we just get to play our 7-mana 4/5.
We do indeed.
Feeling pretty good about
Looking
that.
pretty good here.
Yeah, don't miss that attack for 2. Come on. Almost missed it, but
Gotta get in our points where they count.
yeah, we do need to
We
win
do.
this game.
Yeah, we need to clock them out somehow. Looks
Albert's
like
hand
Albert's
is
got
2 bacon to a pie,
pies.
and that's it.
All right.
Yikes.
I
Well,
mean,
there goes the aggro
you
plan.
could ask- you could
Aggro
ask for
plan's dead.
worse. You could-
Aggro plan's dead. Noble, I believe, also has a bacon to a pie in his hand.
Yes.
So we're going to see a lot of pies made here, I think, this game. And Noble has 1 more blue card in his hand, and he still has that epic downfall. And I'm not sure what that blue card
Let's
is.
see this Gadwick for once. I would.
It's not Gadwick. I'm pretty
I
certain
know,
of that. Alright, looks like an attack for 2 here. And Noble also notably down to 12 already as well. Does need to find a way to deal with this Beanstalk Giant.
I'm surprised he didn't snap off the epic downfall in his.
Yeah, I think he's probably just going to bake it into a pie, but I do think that you'd just rather play the epic downfall,
I
right?
tend to agree.
Because, like, the bake into a pie is unconditional removal, and at this point, like, we have enough mana for either, so...
Yeah.
I don't think our mana is really going to be stretched. I think we really just wanted to actually
Cauldron.
use the less specific removal spell.
Yeah,
Cauldron takes out the
absolutely.
Hedgewalker. And follow up with the Roving Keep. So I expect to be paying 7 mana to activate
Yes.
this next turn. That's where I land. Unless
We're
Albert draws something
going to
pretty
crunch for
impactful.
7.
I think we're going to be activating and then getting our keep
And
turned
getting
into
our
a pie.
Keep turned into a pie.
You ever made
When
a
was the last
castle
time
into
you
a
saw
pie?
a castle go into a pie?
That's a
Pretty big pie.
Yeah.
That is not something you run into every day.
Looks like Albert draws his own Reaper of Night. That's the one. Yeah,
Yeah.
Reaper of Night. So makes Noble discard his last 2 cards in hand, which are, of course, removal spells, and that is not good for Noble.
No, not at all.
Albert forced to take the damage here because he doesn't have black to be able to kill the Roving Keep with his pie. So forced to take the 9, going all the way down to 9. And then Noble sends it on back. I expect Albert to just bake this keep into a pie this turn. doesn't seem like we really have a much better option.
Yeah, I don't think we can afford to do anything else here.
Yeah, drew an
partially because
adventure.
we are just actually literally dead.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, we just end up having to chump block with our Reaper of Night. Obviously,
Yeah.
that's really bad. There is
None
the
of that.
pie. Pie will take out the roving keep, make a
And
food.
casting a Curious Parrot, looks like.
Well, he just made a food. Is that a Curious Pear?
I think
Looks
in-
like
in
it
his
is a
hand,
Curious
yeah.
Pear. Yep. Let's go ahead and make another
Make a
food and then
food
make a
and
1/3. And that's pretty good. It'll block the Queen of Ice.
Will indeed.
Every other turn, of course. Because as soon as it blocks it, it is going to get tapped.
Yep.
And will not untap. But, it still saves you 1 point of damage a turn just to block it, so it's probably correct.
What do we get off the top here? Bell of the Brawl?
Looks like Bell of the Brawl. So that card has Menace. Cannot
Yep.
be blocked currently. And both players Hellbent. Albert gets the first draw, though. And it's Heroic Banner. So he gets to give creatures of a chosen color +1/+0. And it taps
Also
for
taps
mana.
for the chosen color.
But, the tapping for a mana part, not super relevant at this point. Albert going to go ahead and play his Reaper of Night. And, of course, it will have flying. Noble at 12 means that card's going to kill him real fast. Chamber Servant. I'm going to draw Noble a card because he gets to cast it with Adamant. And then a quick attack for 3 that Albert cannot block. We'll put him down to 6. But, of course, Albert does have those 2 foods, remember, so... He's at a virtual 12. He just needs to spend the mana, but I don't think he's gonna have too much problems spending the mana. He's spent his
agree.
7-drop in exile or whatever already. If last game's any indication, Albert's really good at drawing lands.
Yes.
So it looks like the 1/5 spider off the top there. The 3 mana 1/5.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of.
I can't help you there, but
Starts with an S and has a C. Spore cap spider.
it does not seem.
look, we
Yeah,
have
I mean, you got there.
I think that's what it is, at least.
It doesn't look too bad on this board. Helps keep that Bell of the Brawl.
Actually
at bay.
doesn't. Yeah, it gets to block. Oh, it's an out muscle. Okay,
Oh,
that's way better.
That is
So
infinitely
we
better.
just get to have our big dumb 4/5 eat his 3/2. Looks like he's going to have the Curious Pair get a +1/+1 counter and then fight the Bell. Of course, it does get indestructible, so the Curious Pair will survive and has basically no fear of combat this turn. Outside of if it gets blocked by Queen of Ice, it's just going to get
It's
tapped
just gonna
anyway.
get tapped again.
So, interesting choice to choose the
Pair as opposed to
the pair.
Reaper.
Yeah, I think if he had outmuscled with the Reaper of Night and then played Heraldic Banner naming black, or he would have been able to kill Noble in 2 turns instead of 1, right? Mm-hmm. All right, and it looks like the Heraldic Banner or the Heroic Banner did in fact name black. So Noble took a hefty 5 there, going down to 7. Albert gonna go ahead and crack him food and then take 4, so he's gonna take effective 1 down to 5. I did not see what Noble drew. Did you catch it?
Did not either.
All right. So it looks like our Curious Pair is not going to untap because it got blocked by a Queen of Ice. Land for turn is Albert's draw. Well, we've got an attack for 5.
It's gonna hurt a little bit.
Yep. So Noble goes down to 2. Albert does still have a food in play. So he's going to be able to... It looks like a little bit of confusion here on whether or not the Curious Pair is untapped. I believe it should still be tapped
Should
because of the
be
Queen of
tapped
Ice.
From the Queen of Ice.
Yeah. Yep. And there's the classic
Yes.
Noble realizing face. I'm
exactly.
very, very well accustomed to that one.
Yes, indeed.
So Noble likely drew a land. It's the only thing he wouldn't have cast there, I think. Looks like attacks for 4. Albert sacrifices a food, goes up to 8,
4.
and then back down to 4. And there is a Smitten Swordmaster, which is not going to cut it, and that is going to leave Noble... Oh, no, we have 2 foods.
Food. Yeah.
Oh, excellent. Excellent. All right. So Noble will take 5, gain 6, going
Go
to
to
3.
Great. Exactly where you want to be.
We are... And he just has lethal. Unless I'm missing something. Unless Albert drew an out. but it looks like that is going to be lethal, and that is the handshake coming from Albert. Well played. Man, these food tokens, they're just sneaky. I keep forgetting about them.
Yeah.
I find myself forgetting about them so
All the
often.
time.
Yeah.
It's
It's going to take some getting used to remember these food tokens just lying around from
exactly
way earlier in the game or whatever.
Random turn 2 things that you do.
Yeah, and then it just mattered so much there. Like,
Yeah.
those food tokens just existing was literally the difference between the game
Yeah.
ending there. And Albert had
Absolutely.
food tokens, and if he didn't have them, the game would have ended 2 turns sooner
Yep.
on Noble's end too, in Noble's favor. So, pretty crazy. Pretty crazy games. That was actually a super sweet second game there. Pretty happy to have seen that. I think
Yeah.
that black deck looks quite a bit better than the green one
Yeah,
did
yeah,
last
absolutely.
round. Epic Downfall and Bacon to a Pie really shining. Looks like Noble's still got his promo something hanging out in the
I
sleeve.
believe it's a happily ever after.
Promo happily ever after.
Yeah.
You better leave that one in the sleeve, yeah.
Yes, that is a good point.
Yeah, this was
Albert
also
did
much
play-
more reasonable Magic
Yes,
than we saw
much
last
more
game.
reasonable Magic than Love Struck Beast into Questing Beast.
It was so stupid. If you guys didn't catch the last round, Noble's last opponent played turn 1,
Turn 1,
The
Love
Adventure
Struck
of
Beast
Love Struck
Adventure.
Beast.
Turn 2, something.
He missed
he
his
miss a
2-drop,
2-drop?
yeah, but
Okay.
he did play turn 3 Love
3,
Struck
cast
Beast
a 5/5,
and
and
then
then
played a
untapped
Questing
and cast
Beast.
Questing Beast.
It was pretty absurd.
It was not bad, as the kids say.
Yeah, it was in fact a reasonable sealed pool. So anyways, let's go ahead and thank some more sponsors really
Indeed.
quick. Alrighty.
Turn 2 is advantage, guy.
I would love to give an excellent shout out to Tabletop. They are the ultimate gaming merchandise apparel brand. Board games, all of that stuff. They have excellent graphic designers working on excellent product. I'm a really big fan of the Tabletop gear I've seen and worn, and honestly, they just make great things. So you can go ahead and head to tabletop.com. Again, let them know that we sent you, and they'll be super happy to hear that. Super big thanks to Tabletop for supporting the stream. And yeah, their apparel looks great. I have nothing but good things to say about them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Super happy that they decided to sponsor the stream. So,
Indeed.
with that, we're going to leave you guys with Catpacity for a little bit of a break, and we'll be back for round number 3. Thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Final round.
We'll be back.
That was a pretty
You can
good
sit on
make
my
you
lap,
discard 2 cards that almost lost.
Was. Oh boy. All right. So we are back sooner than expected. We didn't want to leave you guys for that long. At Paradise, we have a pack per win here prize structure going on tonight. So Noble got his pack for winning and decided to let us take a look at it on stream here. So
we have
it
a
looks like
Gadwick
we
and
have
a
another
Love-
foil Gadwick.
We have a Gadwick and a
Because
Love
Noble's
Struck
really
Beast.
good at
I'm
opening foil
Gadwicks.
Gadwicks.
I hope
So our
that
pack
card's
is
worth money.
foil Gadwick, Love Struck Beast, Heroic Banner, Cauldron's Gift.
Righteousness.
There is a Righteousness.
That card is
at the-
from
that's
that
at the
card was
bottom of the
printed in
list.
alpha, by the way.
Indeed.
It was. It's pretty good.
I know, right?
It's not a
It's
rare
not a
anymore.
rare
Yeah, it got
anymore.
downgraded from a rare. Do you think that card is pretty good at rare? Pretty bad at rare?
It's, you
Gotta-
know,
Do you think you'd be mad if you opened that one instead of Black Lotus or
Yeah,
Social
like,
Recall? Nice bargain.
I don't know. it might
Not
be-
super great. So, like, obviously, I think our discussion here is between
Love Struck Beast and Gadwick.
Yeah, I mean, these are two rares that I would not pick any commons over or uncommons over. I think both of the rares are very, very powerful. I don't actually know which one I think is better. I think they're both, like, I think Gadwick is a little better.
I would
but
lean
is
toward
way more
Gadwick.
narrow in, like, the triple blue mana cost. Like, green is
very strong in this set.
I've been pretty actually unimpressed with green in this Ford Turtle. Just go ahead and take the place of the Gadwick.
I think that there are enough strong green cards. I don't know. I have played a decent amount of green in the limited that I have played, and it has felt like there are a few really strong commons that if you can double up on them,
That 5/5 Knight with Adamant, my opponents have cast against me like 3 times
Garenbrig
and
Paladin,
just killed me like every time.
yeah,
pretty
that
good.
Garenbrig Paladin and the 4-mana 4/4 trample that makes a food, like those
cards are strong.
cards are very
Those cards are
very
strong.
good.
I'll be honest. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to pick the Lovestruck Beast here because I draw Gadwick 0 times and my opponent draws Lovestruck Beast twice, which makes it much better.
Sure, I tend to agree.
It's pretty close. I think I would take the Gadwick and try and make it work. I also just tend to enjoy playing those type of decks more, but I really, I think it's too early in the format to really know which one of these I would pick over the other one. And granted, I think if you open this pack, you're making a pretty marginal decision here. You're starting your draft with a very strong monocolored rare. One of them commits you a little heavier than the other, but really you still want to be playing, the adventure half of Lovestruck Beast on turn 1 and then Lovestruck Beast on turn 3. So it is still a heavy green commitment, even though Gadwick is triple blue, because this card wants to be played early and the Gadwick wants to be played much later, which kind of, loosens and tightens, respectively, the mana restrictions there. That being said, I think that's what I'd pack 1, pick 1. Obviously, pack 2, pick 1 would be the other rare.
Yeah.
Where are we at on Heroic Banner? We felt that card's very good.
I don't know. So from what I've seen, humble brag, in the chat for MC Richmond, and a lot of people have been posting draft decks, and I think every single 3/0 draft deck has been monocolored, or maybe one was blue-red draw extra cards.
Okay.
And so it's been looking like monocolored is really good. Heroic Banner is pretty good in those decks.
Should tend to be good in those decks.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. 'Cause,
Heraldic
like,
Banner.
Heraldic Banner, yeah. It's kind of weird that it is a thing that could, like, ostensibly fix your mana, but if it's fixing your mana, that means it's probably not pumping the creatures in play.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. It could, like, theoretically support a splash color, but really you don't want it to be doing that.
absolutely not.
Yeah,
They're
it's
really
pretty
not.
bad if it's doing that.
There are really not any good commons in this pack, are there?
No, the commons are very underwhelming.
There's, like, Smash Through, Witch's Cottage.
Yeah, there's a Return to Nature, a Mistford Turtle. What's the blue adventure?
I think that's the Merfolk.
Yeah,
Merfolk
Secret
Yeah,
Keeper.
that card.
Very
There's
nice.
a Garenbrig Paladin
That's, like, probably, honestly, the next best thing after...
after the 2 rares.
And
Yeah, I think I tend to agree, actually.
either the Paladin or the Banner, but I think...
Packet's pretty bad after the 2 rares, but
Yeah.
luckily we back 1, pick 1 to this, so we get one of the rares.
We do get one of
So
the rares.
we can pick our rare and then move it on.
Yeah.
Know that the person to our left is in whatever color we sent them in, and be pretty happy with that. So anyway, now that we're done with that, want to talk us through some of the choices you made in deck building and why you ended up moving it over to black for the second match.
Yeah, I just kind of looked through my deck. Green did synergize, like, pretty well with this artifact plan, but I'm not really certain that's good, and I'm mostly playing it because I'm, like, curious if the shambling, the 3-mana star 3 that gets bigger with artifacts is,
Shambling
like,
suit.
yeah, is, like, actually good. And I opened an Emery, and it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So the black had both those games. Headless Spectre did a lot of work, making my opponent discard 2 cards, even though they were
Reaper
lands.
of Night.
Reaper of
Yes.
Night. That's what it
But-
is.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah,
you're right.
I have been very impressed with Reaper of
I
Night.
think that it seems very, very, very.
I have only played it in sealed. The drafts I have played, I have not played that card yet, or not gotten the chance to play that card yet, but I have been impressed enough in sealed that I am definitely going to give it a chance in draft and see if I am equally impressed.
At
I expect
least-
it to be worse by
Definitely.
a pretty decent margin, because the aggro decks in this format do seem pretty good. I've actually gotten rolled by a few good aggro decks in sealed, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got absolutely flexed on by Ginger Brute into all that glitters into Ember Cleave.
That seems like an exceptionally good.
Yeah,
Pretty
it
good.
was pretty sick, to be honest. My opponent rolled to 5. I was like, there's no way I can lose this game.
Yeah.
I just got annihilated dead on turn 5 and
Yeah.
sealed. It was pretty absurd.
So that Mirror Maid was in your sideboard and you brought it in for game 2,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah,
There was
the
a
first
Vanquish
round.
Gargoyle.
Yeah.
All right, it copied the
no,
plan
it's-
happened. I brought in
Yeah.
I brought in Fell the Pheasant, and I brought in Mirror Maid,
And they
I
both
Mirror
hit
Maided
the only
thing,
targets they were
and then
on.
I nailed it. I nailed it. There's also like
Absolutely
Hypnotic
annihilated
Sprite, and
Yeah,
if you notice
I
that
thought
game,
that fell the pheasant. So what
It
I
was
was
actually pretty
what I was.
reasonable.
Alex was like, "This fell the pheasant is bad because it only kills Vanquish Gargoyle."
It wasn't
that
phrased quite like that, but yeah.
But you almost died to a 2-1.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's true.
exactly.
It was true.
Yeah.
We were
I
very
was
close
not
to dying
having
to
good
a
ways to
2-1.
deal with flyers, and sometimes it does just hit the thing. Mirror Maid was like it's like almost good enough at copying my own things, and then it just
I think it actually might just be good enough at copying your own things.
yeah,
That
and it
maybe I
also
would have
copies
tried to play
enchantments.
it.
So like
Yeah, with a Chamber Sleep in there too, you know.
that's right. Yeah. That is why I brought it in, and maybe I should have played it, and maybe I should still be playing it, but I did lose the crumbs, Trail of Breadcrumbs.
Yeah, the Trail of Crumbs. Yep.
Trail of Crumbs.
Turn 2 Trail of
Nuts.
Crumbs. Turn 3 Mirror Made It. Turn
Trail of
4
Crumbs has been good.
Gain 3
Trail-
life.
yeah,
Draw 2 cards.
Trail of
Far-
Crumbs is quite the engine.
Yeah, I've been impressed with that card as well.
Yeah,
And
for
granted, we're still talking sealed here, so things are slower, and cards like Trail of Crumbs have more time to shine.
Yeah.
But I've liked it. You know, it's been pretty
You
good.
saw that game, the food pretty dramatically swung the race.
The
both
food
ways.
was crazy. That
Food
game.
was, yes,
Yeah.
food was very
so relevant. Yeah.
we kind of both spaced on it existing. in
Yeah,
here.
and then you're like, he's dead.
But-
No, he isn't. He's dead. No, he isn't.
Well,
yeah.
remembered Albert had it because he'd made it much more recently than you. But yeah, the like random food that you made on like turn 1 and 2 or whatever, and you just like turned the thing into a pie or whatever.
Yeah.
It just was like actually what won you the game.
Yeah,
It was,
Queen
like,
of Ice
super
did
relevant.
an absurd amount of work.
I think Queen of Ice is
Queen of
great.
Ice is absurd.
Yeah,
It
Queen of Ice
tapped
was
tapped
so
things
good.
with its trigger twice, beat for like 10, and also like my opponent had a really slow draw, and honestly, I would be a little embarrassed with my deck if it didn't manage to beat the first actual thing happening, being a 6/6 on turn 7,
Yeah.
or whatever, or sorry, 7/7
on
on turn 6.
Yeah.
But I almost lost to that.
But we
because
almost
that
did
Headless
because
Spectre was
our
the is it what is
Reaper
it?
of
Reaper
Night.
of Night. Reaper of Night. The Reaper of Night was
So
absolutely gas against
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
so good. It just discarded our two spells. we had.
Answer. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just really, really insane.
On the one turn I left them down. Yeah.
Yep, really insane.
A little rough.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Didn't say please.
I made some interesting decisions with that. It didn't say please that game. Like I left it up on turn 3.
You left it up a bunch of.
I didn't even know you had it in your hand.
Yeah.
I didn't either, but then when I saw it get discarded, I was like, kind of surprised that didn't get burned earlier.
At some point, yeah.
I had
it's
no
pre-
point
it's
when
pretty
they
hard
cast
to
a spell and I had 3 mana.
pretty hard to tell what some of the cards are.
Like I
sometimes.
left it up because they had
Rested.
ramped on turn 3, and were going to untapping with 5 mana, and
Yeah.
I didn't think a 1/3 was particularly relevant
Yeah, that sounds pretty right to me.
to play. And then they didn't play anything, and then I played something, and then they played the giant the next turn, and I didn't really get a chance to do anything with it. But I think the card's
here we
good and
are.
sealed. So
I tend to agree. You know, cancel has basically always been playable and sealed in my book. I'm usually pretty happy to play 1 or 2.
I played a lot of Thought Collapse in.
Yeah.
I've played a lot of Thought
Guild of
Collapse and
Ravnica,
guilds.
yeah.
Yeah, I've played and I still remember my RNA sealed pool that had my promo was Absorb, and I just went full in blue-white. Just blue-white all
that
the
was,
counter
that was such a
spells.
sick deck.
It was so sweet. I beat our friend James, who had 2 Skark and Hellkites.
That deck was also insane.
Yeah,
Well, Absorb is pretty good against Scarlet.
it does win the trade. Yeah, but anyway,
Gives you up 3 life.
Yeah,
And
it was
up
pretty
2
fun.
mana. Very nice, very nice.
yeah, my very color intensive cancel that had marginal upside was was doing
It was
work
pretty
for
decent.
sure.
That card is still in Standard. Has not been played in a while.
Yeah,
Very
It
Time
was
Raveler does fun
pretty
things.
bad.
yeah. Teferi Time Raveler has really shaken up that far back.
Remember when they were like, they're printing Absorb into Modern, Blue White's gonna be good again?
Following
that
it up
was
with Dovin's
brilliant.
Veto.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. That's pretty true. I really wish that card was just one blue-white. We're getting pretty tangential here, but, you know, Ionize was 1 blue-red. I don't know why that card couldn't have been 1 blue-white.
It's because it's a Reaper Nox. Come on. All right.
Anyways, so anything else you wanna touch on your deck here? We're now playing black. Black gives us a little bit better removal. We get an epic downfall. We get a bacon noodle pie.
Yeah, our curve gets a little worse, but I don't think we're really curving people out anyway.
Yeah, this deck doesn't really look like it wants to be aggroing people out. Like our best aggro plan is like a couple Queen of Ice or something like that.
I have 3 of that card, which is fair, but I think that's
still
probably
that's
better
our
when
best
it's just,
aggro
like,
plan.
Locking dudes down.
Yeah, like the card's good. We can lock dudes down and get to our big old Gadwicks and just keep tapping stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Gadwick, Queen of Ice, tap a dude, play the other half of Queen of Ice, tap a dude. Start getting in there. Oh yeah.
Yep.
I'm excited to draw my Gadwick to see if the card's good.
I
don't think you need to draw
the card's
to
good.
be able to tell.
I don't think we really need to investigate. Maybe you'll draw it and not draw lands, and then you'll know that it's bad. That seems pretty likely.
Yeah, with the Queen of Ice Gadwick thing, some of those creatures will untap, some won't. We gotta be careful. Don't have the arena guide. Maybe we should get some of those little chain things to throw in cards.
Yeah,
little like Warhammer chains or something like that. Yeah, some like
some of the good old the exerted tokens that they.
Yeah.
Oh, exerted tokens.
Ice counters to start exerting dudes. Perfect.
Yeah.
Ooh, some old ice counters from Prerelease Slumber.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Now Prerelease Slumber, that's a whole nother.
Prerelease Slumber is a whole nother ball game. A whole nother ball game. I'm not sure we want to really go there. So
I watched that card cast in round 6 of Modern MCQ last weekend.
oh jeez.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Sounds about right. Modern's in a funny
with
place
a positive
right now.
record.
Yeah. I mean, Prerelease Slumber definitely kills them, kind of.
Yeah.
Makes a 2020. I don't know. People can't beat it in Legacy. If they can't beat it in Legacy, they probably can't beat it in Modern,
That's
right?
fair enough.
Who's sleeving up their Modern deck and they're like, "What's removal you got?" It's like, well, I've got my Lightning Bolts and I've got my
Fatal Pushes.
got my Fatal Pushes, and everything here is gonna be fine, right?
Yeah.
And everything here is not fine.
Nope.
The snow deck are pretty sweet, but kind of a relic of the past at this point. I think everybody's
That's what it feels like.
looking forward to standard modern snow deck. Everybody tried their own thing and kind of didn't get there. There's still a lot of like 4-color snow piles floating around, and like the Soul Herder deck.
Healy cat combo.
Yeah, the Soul Herder deck's kind of snowy. And Icefang Quaddle has definitely gotten there quite a few times, or it feels like is very, very close to getting there a lot, and maybe we'll just end up not getting there at all.
Arkham's Astrolabe is just
Popper
the best
staple,
card in
yeah.
every formats. Yeah.
Arkham's Astrolabe is just popping off.
Who would have thought this card would be like the most impactful card in all formats when it was printed? Like
Modern Horizons.
Did you look at that and think like Legacy staple to yourself?
No, no, I did
Certainly
not.
not.
I did think this would be good in Popper.
Yes.
I did immediately think this card's going to be great in Popper, but I did not think quite good.
Multi-format staple.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Very nice.
I think
Functional reprint of Death Ray Shaman.
Yeah. I think looking forward to standard though. I guess we can shift this into some nice Throne of Eldraine standard. What have your guys' thoughts been on new standard? You got any sweet brews? Been testing any sweet things? Everybody's got their 12 free games on Arena.
Mm-hmm.
What you been running through the gauntlets?
I did some very valuable testing of playing a bunch of bad decks and losing a lot with them, so I know what not to craft now.
Excellent.
Which
That's
is
the
good.
most important
Saved
part.
yourself some money there.
Yep.
Saved yourself
I
some...
played some like green mid-rangey piles that all felt decent and not great.
Were they like Oko piles or? Were
Usually
they...
Oko Questing Beast, like
Oko
sometimes
is,
it was
in fact,
just
Broko. Like,
green black henge.
other-
Yeah.
Oko has been very, very good. That green black henge deck I'm not a fan of.
I don't think Henge is like quite good enough. Unfortunately,
I do think henge is very, very good.
I think the card
great
is-
henge. But it just is a 3/3 a lot. I've noticed.
Yeah.
A lot of times you play the great henge and you're
It's a
feeling
2-mana
good about
3/3.
it, and then your opponent's like, "Hey man, nice 3/3" when they plus their Oko.
yeah.
And I'm not a big fan of
Back
my
for
9-mana artifacts that are supposed to win me the game being 3/3s.
Yep.
Because it doesn't feel like that's gonna win
I
me the
plussed
game
on my
anymore.
own Great Henge because I had another one to play, made it into a 3/3, and then played it,
Gross.
and then realized the
Realized
name
that you
didn't
still had to
change,
legend
and then
roll it,
still legend
yeah.
rolled away with a 3/3.
Charming
It's kind of a
Prince
shame.
does seem great, and I would like to do things with that card.
I don't know if great. It's just
Charming
like
Prince
so.
can flicker your 3/3s. It can flicker your
Yeah,
3/3s
okay.
so that you end up with your card back.
Yeah, so you play one, you scry 2, and then you play a second one, you blink it, you get to scry 2 again.
Yeah.
Easy.
Sick. Yeah.
Easy.
So
Gotta blink the first one for our vigilance value.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. That's the strictly correct play. All about making strictly correct plays.
But yeah, I've been pretty unimpressed with the green-black, like, Great Henge decks. I do think the card the Great Henge is good, but I think the rest of the shell needs a little work.
Yeah, these ramp decks seem good. I'm really on this Dance of the Mance.
Stack.
The Esper, Brian Gottlieb Esper Stacks deck that he won the Fandom Legends tournament with yesterday. I have heard nothing but good things about.
And have also tested, at least, I've played the deck through, I don't know, 5 or 6 games and felt great.
Yeah, I'm in a similar boat. I think the Dance of the Mance, that card feels a lot like the old, like, Command the Dread Horde.
Absolutely.
Or, like, Bolas's Citadel type engines to me. Like, 6-mana sorcery, ends up drawing you a bunch of cards, creating a largely insurmountable advantage just when you cast it. And not to mention that the deck's plan of play a bunch of Wrath of Gods and...
Edicts you a bunch.
Yeah, a bunch of Wrath of Gods, Thought Seizes, and then just, like,
yes,
edicts.
Brad, we do.
Everything's gonna be fine, Okay.
So
Looks like we have
yet
an
another
additional-
Pro Tour qualified player.
companion joining us. Hello.
Good evening.
We are currently talking about Standard. Everybody welcome Gavin Bennett to the booth.
By booth, we mean...
Say hi.
Hello.
Welcome, Gavin. So, yeah, what are your thoughts on Standard right now? We're talking about the Brian Gottlieb Esper deck. Have you seen that one?
I have not.
So
That's a shame.
Oh,
pretty
you should bring
sweet.
up, what's the card called? The white-black one?
Doom Foretold?
Doom Foretold.
Yeah.
That's the really weird enchantment that you have to read 3 times, but it's like a 4-mana enchantment that says, beginning of each player's upkeep, they sacrifice a non-land, non-token permanent.
Mm-hmm.
If they can't sacrifice this enchantment, that player discards a card and loses 2 life. You gain 2 life, draw a card, and make a 2/2.
With
Oh,
Vigilance.
so it's like mini Cruel Ultimatum, kind of.
Mini
Exactly.
That's literally what it was.
Setup. Yeah.
Yeah.
The most powerful play patterns we've seen are plus my Teferi, Kaya's Wrath your board, and then untap, play my Doom Foretold, and have it kill your Planeswalker.
Right.
And then you can't really play anything, or I'm just gonna
you just
pass
gotta
to you and keep edicting you. But if you don't play anything on your next turn, you're gonna have to discard a card and lose some life.
I'm gonna gain some life, draw some
Right.
cards.
Yeah.
Anyway, he won the Fandom Legends with it yesterday.
Okay.
And I've talked to like 3 or 4 people that have played with the deck, and everybody's just been like, "Yeah, this deck's really good." So that deck seems really good. Obviously, Oko's nuts.
Kind of like it's kind of the evolution of the Esper hero Teferi decks, and they're doing like this fun Doom Foretold thing
kind
instead.
of where it's going. This the other notable card is Dance of the Mance, which is blue-white X from Throne, and it is return X target artifact or enchantment cards from your graveyard with CMC X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield.
Okay.
If X is 6 or more, they also become 4/4s.
Okay.
So you play cards like Golden Egg and Guild Globe,
Yeah.
and then they're also just like garbage that you can just sack to your Doom Foretold on your turn, and Oath of Kaya. And then eventually, you play your Doom Foretold cracks, gets you this advantage, and then you get to turn 6 and you play Dance of the Mance, and you get back like a Doom Foretold, 2 eggs, and an Oath of Kaya. And you draw 2 cards, you have
kill
this
their
Doom
dude.
Foretold in play, Oath of Kaya, Lightning Helix something. And heaven forfend you have 8 mana ever, and then everything's a 4/4.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I mean that seems that definitely seems interesting. One of the decks that I was kind of like looking at when usually for like new Standard, I try and like look at like the previous like block. So I guess that'd be Ravnica, Guilds of Ravnica, and
For
whatever
sure.
that is. That I forget the other name.
Ravnica Allegiance.
Yeah, that one. And kind of see like what if any sort of shells can like get ported over without losing too much stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Ramp seems like it could be pretty sweet because like
Yeah, there's been a lot of success with Simic Ramp decks.
You don't have the white anymore, really.
Most
And
of
the mana
them
can't
have
support
not been going into the white anymore, but
Teferi is
the
still very
white
good
going
as it
in
turns out.
is totally reasonable.
yeah, like I guess white seems like kind of free and you get like deputy detention and stuff, which like seems like it could be good. But
Absolutely.
I guess if you just go like the blue green route, you could play like the kind of quasi duplicate deck with like Cavalier Thorns and like Resin Reef and just make a whole bunch of 5/6s.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, that deck
And
seems
Agents
good
of
too.
Treacheries.
Yeah, I guess Agent of Treachery too.
Yeah,
You
it
steal
seems
all
like
of their
people
permanents.
have like forgotten about Yarok for some reason.
Card is
that card still exists.
Absolutely.
And maybe people should still be acknowledging that card still
Don't get
exists.
your food from Gilded Goose. Golden Goose.
Yeah.
Gilded Goose.
Gilded
The
Goose.
goose seems like it's going to be pretty insane.
Yeah, I think at
Goose
this
and
point I'm
Oko
wrong.
is pretty
I'm
nuts.
wrong about the goose. The goose is good.
Can
I
we
thought the
follow-
goose wouldn't be very good. I was wrong.
The Esper Stacks deck does indeed play Teferi and can flash in Dance of the Mance
Yes,
to create 4/4s in
it
their
is
combat stuff.
pretty sick.
Okay.
But often you just want to play your dance on your turn because you just you just want to get the Doom Foretold trigger on their upkeep.
Yeah.
You know, you don't
Yeah,
want
'cause
to
if
you don't want to flash it in and then have to sack a thing first for you. Be the first one that has to sack.
Yeah.
That's usually not where you want to be. But end step, make a bunch of 4/4s, kill you with it is definitely something that has come up, and I have done once with the deck, and it was felt pretty good doing it.
Oh, you were playing on Arena, I guess?
Yes.
The free thing? Okay, yeah.
Yes. Have you played your 12 free games yet, Gavin?
I haven't played free. I didn't play any of my free games. I was trying to
Ooh.
get to Mythic, and I'm at Diamond. I think I'm at Diamond 4. So like, I don't know how realistic it is to like even get there because I'd have to get to Mythic and then play all my Mythic games by the end of the weekend, pretty much. So I don't even know if I really want to do that. So we'll see. I was playing Nexus, which is like pretty miserable to play on Arena.
Yeah.
And you can't play
Agreed.
now, right? Because rotation happened, and you can play new cards and can't play like rotation has happened.
Rotation
on Arena,
has
correct?
happened on Arena.
Okay,
You
then, yeah.
have to, like,
officially-
then you're
okay, then
officially
officially
done.
not
You are-
very good,
you
like
are
that.
barbecue.
Yeah.
All of the cards have rotated.
You could craft a deck and like start going, but like that would be crafting a deck really early in the format. Which,
Yeah, I'm kind of.
It's usually a better play to save your money for at least like a week or so, and then try and get Standard evolves pretty rapidly when it's Standard season, and like you'll notice that like last season Standard was definitely evolving, but it was way slower than before because it was Modern season. All of the MCQs and all of the big tournaments tended to be Modern for the last lifespan of M20, and
still
for the
changed
last
7
bit.
times.
And it still changed a lot, right? But like, even looking at the when War of the Spark came out, that format evolved 2 or 3 times a week. I think,
Yeah, it was crazy. It was like
for a solid 6 or 7 weeks.
Yeah,
in a row.
Yeah, it was
like
awesome.
Mono Red, and then Esper Hero, and then the Command of the Dread Horde, and then like the.
And there were a
Soul
bunch of
Type,
things
Command
in
of the Dread
between
Horde,
there.
And then
Yeah.
everyone realized how good Nissa
And then
was,
Nissa,
so like
and then there's
ramp
Blue
decks
Green
were
Ramp,
everything
and
for a while. And then in this new format, like the cycle of like Jund, Vampires, Scapeshift, then none of those were considered the best decks at the end of the format.
Yeah.
Because there were all these like blue-green ramp decks and Yarok
Esper
field
Control.
decks
Nissa
and
and
mono-red with Rampaging Ferocidon and all this
and the
craziness.
cat and the freaking cat Keith.
Oh,
whatever.
Kethis, yeah.
Kethis
Kethis,
combo,
yeah.
Kethis combo is insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played in Arena like 1K last weekend and like played. I like came second last time with Esper Hero. And I'm like, yeah, I'll just play Esper Hero again. It seems like it should be good. Like no one's gonna change the decks 'cause the format's like dead anyway. And then I played against like Blue Green Flash and got destroyed. The Kethis combo got destroyed by that. And then I like didn't win a match. The only match I won, it was a 5-round event. The only match I won was because I got a bye in round 2. But like,
Sick.
yeah,
You hate to see it. Not
I
like
really
this,
do
man.
hate to see this.
Yeah, second place to second last was
It was
not the finish I was.
That's
looking
rough.
for.
That's rough for sure. So, I'm super looking forward to New Standard. Super happy, more or less just happy to not be playing Modern for a little bit.
Yeah,
Grinding Modern, it can be pretty taxing, but the format's most of the time really, really fun. But something about this last format just kind of didn't vibe with me. I'm not a huge fan of the Urza decks or whatever. But
yeah.
regardless.
I mean, like I told you before, I was really glad I didn't have to play this modern
Yeah,
PTQ season.
I
'cause,
digress.
like, yeah.
I'm looking forward to Standard.
Not a big
Looking
fan
forward
of the
to testing.
Neoform garbage that's going around.
Yeah, some Neoform garbage hanging out. Too much burn for anybody's taste.
Yeah, I'm okay
I
with
did play
Burn.
against Burn 3 times in the 7-round.
Yeah, so did Noble. Noble played against Burn like 3 times in a row.
Yeah, I mean,
That's what the X1 bracket's good for.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
joke. Just running into Burn all day. But yeah, New Standard should be great. I'm really looking forward to all of the evolutions. I've got basically a week 1 tournament, which I guess is still 2 weeks away. Nice
it's a
Team
week
Trios
now.
event. Yeah, it's a
So
week
it
now.
is a week
Which
for
tournament is
Sunday.
this?
This is the Team Trios tournament at Geek
Fortress
Fortress.
Games in Snohomish, Washington.
That will be taking place soon. But we will be playing that. and I think I'm not sure what's going to be the best deck. It looks like Oko is the place to start.
I tend to agree.
Gilded Goose, Oko, Simic, pile. There's also that 4-color Wolves deck that PVDDR had been playing.
Good.
Is it good?
Yeah, it got top 4 at the Phantom Legends, and the deck felt good. I played 5 games with the Esper deck, 5 games with the Wolves deck, and 2 games with the Simic Ramp deck, and all 3 of those decks felt really good. I went 4-1 with both the Stacks deck and the Wolves deck, and then was 2-0 with the Simic deck before I ran out of free games on Arena. But all of the decks felt great.
Yeah.
I played against
Took up your 12.
my fair share of what I would call not great decks during those 12 games, but it's even against the decks that there was quite a bit of Goose and Oko floating around or whatever. And
right.
even against those, everything felt pretty reasonable. Felt like I was playing against real decks and doing real powerful things and winning.
Sweet.
A lot of the time. So.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to sort of figuring out new standard and this draft format and getting ready with Noble for the Mythic Championship. I think you said you were potentially going, right? Have you confirmed about that?
I will be attending, but I am not certain whether I will be playing yet. Well, as of now, I am not playing.
Right. Yeah.
LCQs.
But I will be going and hopefully crushing an LCQ.
Yeah, that would be that'd be sweet.
Yeah. So, where are you at? Have you gotten to play any of the limited format yet, Gavin?
I did 1 draft and I 0-3'd.
Was this on Magic Online?
It was, but I opened an Oko pack 3, so that was I think it's like 30. I think it's like 30 tickets. So my next 2 drafts are free. So I tried to draft this the blue-red draw 2 extra draw deck.
Yeah.
And, the deck felt okay. I think I had a lot of stuff to draw cards, but that's not true. I didn't actually have that many cards. I didn't have any payoffs, and I didn't have enough draw to, so it was just kind of blue-red, dirty sort of creatures. I didn't have any ops, which is one of the main cards you need, and the Tormenting Voice.
Thrill of Possibility.
Yeah, that card. I didn't have any of those, so I was relying on the 5-mana draw 3s, which are pretty clunky when I'm trying to play the 5-drop
your
flyer.
Brazen
and
Wolf.
Yeah. So.
Brazen Wolf into 5-mana draw 3 scry 3. That's the curve of legend.
Yeah. So I mean, it was the deck had okay cards. I had a couple of the 2-mana 3 damage or something. I had the legendary
Switching Dragonfire.
Yeah, I had the legendary guy that when your red stuff does damage.
Torben. Torbrand, something like
whatever
that.
His name is. Yeah, I had that. I had a couple of the Sleep Paralysis reprint for 3 mana. I forget.
Yeah.
Charmed Sleep.
Yeah, I had 2 of those, which was good.
Yeah, so sounds like you had removal, but we're just lacking a solid proactive plan.
Yeah, I had 3 of the wolf. It was just not great. The only game I won, I mulled to 5 and I won because I just drew.
Drew perfect.
I drew perfect and my opponent didn't do anything, so that was cool.
Sick.
But
we take those.
Yeah, but all the other games I just got destroyed. So. But I mean, I didn't really look at any of the spoilers or anything before. That was I
kind of just dove in.
Yeah, so. Hopefully with some more drafts I can figure it out. I mean,
it sounds like the monocolor decks are really good.
Yeah, that's what Charles, one of the guys in my testing group, was saying.
Charles Wong.
Yeah, he has 7 trophies or something already, and the set's only been out for a day online.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah,
he's been hard farming.
Yeah, but he says the monocolor decks are pretty sweet, so I'll probably pick his brain about limited a bit more and hopefully get some drafts in between now and the Pro Tour and figure it out.
Oh yeah, for sure. We have a somewhat similar parallel. Me and Noble drafted a blue-red spells deck and opened an Oko in pack 3.
Yeah. Was this on Magic Online?
It was a blue-red draw 2. Yes. We ended up 1-2 with it. I thought the deck was actually pretty good, and we won our first. I won the match that I piloted,
right?
And then I left Noble to his own devices, and he lost the next 2.
Yeah.
So I claimed no responsibility for that. As far as I'm concerned, the deck was insane, and we were 1-0.
Right.
But
I mean, you open an Oko, so that's sweet. And
Yeah,
maybe
free-rolled
it's
it.
gone up to like 40 tickets in between yesterday and as originally.
I actually wouldn't be surprised. The Phantom Legends tournament had 3 Simic decks in the top 4. It was 3 Simic decks in Esper, and then like another 2 Simic decks that like lost their Simic mirrors in the in the quarters or whatever. And then there was like a 4-color Wolves deck that was also playing Goose into Oko. And then, I think, a Bant deck that was also playing Goose into Oko.
Right.
There was a lot of Oko.
So, Mono Red is pretty much dead, right?
Oh, it's so dead. At least in its current state. I've yet to be... I have heard good things about the Cavalcade of Calamity decks. Mm-hmm. But I have yet to be impressed by them or see them really pop off. So I'm going to need a little bit more convincing before I'm ready to sleeve up my Ginger Brutes.
Well, yeah, it's just go turn one that the Mono Red, the Lizard. I'm bad with the card name, the Scorch Lizard.
Scorching.
And then your
Scorch
opponent
Spitter.
goes turn one Goose, and it's like, hey, well, how do
It
I ever we literally can't be an O2. And then, if you don't kill it, then you just play Oko, then you basically have gain 6 on turn 3. Yeah.
Can't beat the O2.
Literally
And
can't
having
beat
for
it.
Fedner on the play and they have an Oko in play at 6 loyalty and you look down at your mountain and a lizard
Yeah,
and you're like,
can't possibly win.
what am I doing here? Why am I playing this game? I just don't know how any deck's ever beating Goose and Oko on the play in this format. It's just so ridiculous how strong it is. So why does it have 6 loyalty?
It's pretty stupid.
Yeah, it just seems ridiculous. As an update for everybody listening, we've kind of just been filibustering here, talking our butts off, but we do expect the next round to be going up shortly. Noble slipped out a couple seconds ago, maybe a minute at this point, and hopefully they should be sitting down for the next round very shortly. So just hang in for a little bit longer of us chatting your ears off. But anyways, where were we? Lizard and they have an Oko. It seems so hard to beat turn 2 Oko. I don't know that there's really a plan for that right now, other than, I guess, play Murderous Riders.
Yes, downfall, yeah.
Yeah, is your best plan. Try and Swift end them, and, but back to, I haven't been that impressed with the black decks, other than the Esper one, but maybe the Esper one just needs to be playing a few more copies of Murderous Rider to try and deal with early Okos.
This is
Apparently our producer wants us to mention Steel Overseer, which may end up doing
nuts.
some things in this format. Who knows? I have heard tell through the grapevine that the Steel Overseer, air quotes affinity deck might be pretty good, but I've yet to see it in action.
Emery is
Yet
very,
to play
very,
against
very
it.
good.
Emery is very, very powerful and constructed. We're going to watch a little bit of Emery Unlimited, and it is playing 3 3s for 3,
It
and
is, in
occasionally 2 2s for 3.
Yep.
And let's just say it
great.
is not the multi-format powerhouse that it has been claimed to be in this. It is such far.
Yeah.
Scalding Cauldron.
Oh, yeah, it's playing Scalding
your
Cauldron.
Lightning Bolt.
That one's pretty good. That's a 4-mana Lightning Bolt, but still. Lightning Bolt, pretty good, even if
Lightning
it's
Bolt.
4 mana.
Is it Lightning Bolt? It's just it's not even Lightning Bolt. You
It's
can't
Lightning
go
Bolt
and
a creature.
Definitely.
It's like Flame Slash, but instead of 1 mana and 4 damage, it's 4 mana and 3 damage. It's the same thing.
And it says speed.
Oh, it's
Except
true.
kind
It's
of
true.
sorcery speed. It's half instant speed.
It's called the Cauldron is Scalding Cauldron, I think is what we've established here. Alright. So, looks like round 3 should be starting here anytime. I think I can hear the people in the background announcing the start of the round. So we're looking forward to it.
Stream.
Yep. Alright.
I'm going to quickly run out and grab a drink and say hi to some people because I kind of just ran in here. But I will come back in a bit and see what's
you're
Noble's
welcome,
record.
You're welcome to take
Noble
my
is
place
currently
in the booth,
1-1. He got absolutely smashed round 1.
by turn
by
3 Lovestruck
Lovestruck.
Beast into turn 4 Questing Beast.
Oh, yeah, it seems pretty insane.
Yeah, so he was
not
playing,
bad.
Noble was playing blue-green, and then his opponent rolled up and was like, you think that's a blue-green deck? Let me show you a blue-green deck.
Huh,
And he
okay.
just got put in the dirt. So it was pretty fun.
How many rounds is this? 3?
Just 3
Yeah,
rounds, so we
and
were
then he
going
beat
into
green-black in
the
round two.
last round. Yeah, and then he smashed on some green-black nothing, do nothing.
Green black, do nothing.
Or, sorry, green-black, draw my 15th land.
Yeah, that was
really Albert's theme.
That was unfortunate.
He was like, good card, 12th land. Go. And then Noble killed him. So,
Seems like
believe it or not, game 2 was close. So,
Huh, okay, so Noble's deck is not that great then.
look, Noble's
it's
deck
pretty medium.
is not anything to go crazy about,
It's
but
also
I
especially
would
bad when you don't draw Gavin.
I would really put it somewhere in a middling sealed deck. You know, I look at that sealed pool and I think this looks like a pretty close to average sealed pool. You
And
know?
that's the pre-release kit one, right? Where you get a bonus rare.
Yeah. So it's definitely kind of got mised by that, but he got his sweet promo happily ever after or happy ending, whatever it is.
But do 5 things and you win the game. or
Yeah,
whatever.
the completely unplayable sealed card and limited.
Yeah.
That everybody's gonna try. You know, you're gonna see the post on the like limited resources Reddit or whatever that somebody did it, but that's the only time you're ever gonna see it.
Right.
And you're gonna hope that the time it happened, it wasn't you playing against it on
oh
Magic
my
Online.
god.
So, my
couldn't
friend
handle
Jonathan, I was coming into the store and he left and he said he lost in a ridiculous way and he was so mad that he had to leave the store. Do you guys know what happened with
Are we
that?
talking about
No
Jonathan
idea.
Zhang here? Or
No, Jonathan, my
Reed?
roommate,
John Reed.
Jonathan
Oh,
Reed.
great.
I have no idea.
No, okay. Well, he didn't go into details, but later on, I'm gonna have to.
Yeah, we're gonna have
to. He
gonna have
did
to
not
pry.
seem impressed when I was when I called his name, and he was like basically driving out. So.
All right. So, looks like we are getting ready for round 3 here. So thanks for stopping by, Gavin.
No worries.
Let's see if we can watch Noble do some good work here. We've got Noble versus Brett in round 3. Noble, of course, playing blue-black. And we'll go ahead and see what Brett is on. Looks like people are sitting down for game number 1, round number 3. Once again, I'd like to thank you guys all for tuning in here to Paradise Games stream. We will be back on next Friday with another stream, and that will be Throne Standard. It will be the
Indeed,
first week of
release
Standard,
night.
release day, release night. So please be sure to hit that follow button and come on back. All right.
that's a lie. We are not going to stream on release night,
We're not streaming on. Oh no. Oh
but we will be live the following Monday with Modern, maybe, or the next.
I tell you what. Go ahead and follow us on social media.
Yeah, go follow.
We have Instagram, and we will be in a Facebook page, and probably not a. I don't think we have a Twitter, but
We
I know that we have an. We do.
I believe we
I
do
know
have
that we have at least an Instagram and a Facebook. So if you go ahead and make sure to follow us on the social medias, you'll know exactly when we are going live. But anyway, looks like we're getting ready to get into game number 2 here. Noble with Island into a Queen of Ice to tap down that Mareleaf Rider from Brett, passing it back over to him. All right, looks like the green-black,
Yet again,
1 green-black,
in green
3/3.
Oh yeah, this card
that
is
makes
great.
a food whenever it attacks or blocks. I can't remember the name. But this is a 3/3 that whenever it attacks or blocks will make a food token.
Something scavenger, I think.
That sounds right to me. Swamp here for turn from Noble. We have a Hengewalker that could be
Savvy
a
Hunter, never mind.
2/2. Looks like Noble's going to go with Tempting Witch. Going to go ahead and make a food token. 3 mana, 1/3. Once again, whenever he can pay 2 mana and tap the Tempting Witch and sacrifice a food token. And if he does, target player loses 3 life.
Yep. Unfoods your opponent.
It does unfood them. Looks like a gingerbread cabin there. Enters the battlefield tapped, so no food for Brett. And looks like we have the Garenbrig Carver in hand, as well as some other cards I can't quite tell. Attack, we're going to make a food with our Savvy Hunter. Noble, presumably just taking 3.
You gotta save that those precious 3 points of life.
Alright. So, got another 2 mana spell here. Looks to be... Oh, that is the Green Sir, the Green Knight. I'm not certain the name, but I know what it does. It is a 2/2. When it attacks, another target attacking creature gets +X/+X until end of turn, where X is its power. Sir Farron the Hedgehammer. Thank you to production there for that. And then it looks like Noble's going to go ahead and take out that Savvy Hunter. Looks like he baked it into a pie.
Maybe,
Oh, no, he has an adventurer in exile. Maybe it was that. No, it wouldn't be a Murderous Rider. It costs 4 mana.
Is there a...
I must have just missed it. I'm not certain what it was.
I was
Regardless,
also paying attention to...
Noble spent 4 mana. The Savvy Hunter is dead. So, certainly something along those lines happened. It looks like it was just a Scalding Cauldron. He just played and activated.
That makes sense.
It looks like an aura was just put onto the knight, hedge hammer. Tall as a beanstalk, +3/+3, and is a giant. So, attacking here with a 5/5 that is giving +5/+5 to the 3/1. So,
Oh, no.
attack for 13 here. Yikes. We are really dead.
Yeah.
I don't know how we're getting out of this one. We need some removal spells, and we need them bad. Looks like we have a Mind Rot in our hand. That's not really where we want to be. Charm Sleep is actually going to be going a long way here. And then there is the Smitten Sword Master. That's going to be a 2/1 with lifelink. You're not going on the adventure with our Smitten Sword Master, and that's all fine. Is that a Brazen Bar? No, it's not, is it?
Which?
The card that Brett just drew. I think it's blue, but I must just be seeing that weirdly in the
I think
light.
it's green.
Yeah, definitely green.
It's Garen Brig Carver.
Yep, yeah. Garen Brig Carver. So it looks like he's going to give it +2/+2, and then go ahead and exile it, and then he'll be able to cast the 4 mana 3/2 at a later point. But obviously casting a 4 mana 3/2, far from a priority. That card, a little below rate.
Yeah.
And it looks like there is a Tempting Witch for Brett as well. So now Noble's Tempting Witch dead, Brett Tempting Witch of his own, and I believe Brett has 2 food tokens. So that is representing 6 potential damage if Brett wants to start tossing his food at Noble.
Indeed.
Which it looks like he's probably going to want to, given the how this game's been playing out.
State, it seems like
I'm going to want to toss food at my opponent for
Noble
sure
is
here.
on the ropes and about to get some tomatoes thrown at him.
Absolutely. Looks like the Queen of Ice coming back from exile here. 3 mana 2/3, just going to do some blocking, it looks like. Alright, 1 card off the top for Brett. Didn't quite catch it. Let's see. So we've got, assuming we don't have any way to do anything more meaningful, I think we should just attack with this 3/1, and Noble presumably will block. We're going to offer that trade. It's a pretty good trade for us. Trading our 2 mana 3/1 for his 3 mana 2/3. More than fine. And then, let's see what the follow-up is here. I'm not certain what that card is. We're going to have to get our... Is that the 4 mana 3/2 14 with haste?
Yeah.
It is. Looks like he just wanted to play it post-combat so that as not to offer the trade with that Queen of Ice, but I think I still would have just played it and got in with it,
I
right?
tend to
like,
agree. Yeah.
We have 2 food tokens. We can just play the food tokens and then get it back, or we can just crack a food token, get it back, and then smack with it again next turn.
Yeah.
So here we have the Hengewalker. This one does have Adamant, is a 3/3, and now we're in kind of a similar boat where, like, our opponent can just block it this turn, right? Like, I think not playing the Deathless Knight pre-combat last turn and attacking with it, probably a small error here.
Yeah, it's definitely
from Brett.
Brett on the back
Looks like
foot
Noble
a little bit, but still
is going to block. Offer the trade. The trade will happen.
Still in a pretty aggressive position here.
Well, yeah, at this point now all we have is a Tempting Witch. And now I don't really want to... I think I want to be sacking the food to gain life so that I can get my Deathless Knights back.
Absolutely.
And it looks like the best thing we can do this turn is play our Garen Brig Carver from exile. I'm not really loving Brett's spot here.
For sure.
Noble up to 17 because he got to sacrifice a food he made earlier. Noble wondering if he wants to counter this spell. Did not say please. Looks like Noble's going to let the 3/2 resolve.
Can untap and cast Gadwick to draw 3 cards here, yep.
Yeah, that seems great. So Gadwick, draw 3. This is the first time we've seen Noble actually draw Gadwick. So 3 cards off the top, and then whenever he casts a blue spell, he gets to tap target non-land permanent an opponent controls. So this card's really, really good at attacking. It's very good at clearing the way. It's also good if you have instants to just prevent combat from happening, really.
Yeah. Fog on a stick.
Yep.
It's just like Angus McKenzie on a
Yeah.
Blue Sun Zenith.
Oh, however, a Frogify off the top there for Brett is going to presumably put an end to all of those Gadwicky shenanigans.
as though Brett has any blue sources.
Oh, you're right. You are very right. Maybe I'm wrong again, and that isn't a blue card, but I really think that's a Frogify.
I would believe that looks
I'm
a
quite
lot like a
certain that's a
Frogify. to me.
Frogify, but looks like a couple of attacks. Noble is just going to.
Oh, it's not a Frogify. It's a Wolf's Quarry.
It's a Wolf's Quarry. Excellent. All
That
right,
makes more sense.
makes much more sense. They've got that same orange color palette.
Yeah, exactly.
So
where
looks
I was
like
going.
Lash of Thorns is going to take out the Gadwick after
Yeah.
Noble kind of made a pretty forced block on the Tempting Witch there. And then taking 3 down to 14. Let's see what the follow-up is here. Going to sacrifice a food and get his Deathless Knight back from the graveyard. Play a golden egg, draw a card. Send it back over to Noble. 3 new cards. What do we got here? Looks like we have a Henge Sentry, a 6-mana card. Oh, or not. Looks like an Emery in hand as well. So Noble is pretty good at drawing this Emery he's got. Let's see what he wants to do this turn. Looks like he is going to lead with the Emery. Mill 4. Looks like 2 lands, and Reaper of Night, and 1 additional spell that I cannot quite tell.
Yeah.
And looks like Lost Legion here, the 1 black 2/3 that scries 2. I think that was a land and a spell, and I'd be kind of surprised if we want the land and don't want the spell. Or it might even be land. It might be Swamp Island there. Either way, we'll see what Noble does. If it's Swamp Island, I expect bottom here. It looks like Noble agrees. And that is a Clockwork Servant. No. Is it Clockwork Servant? Clockwork Servant.
Yep.
In the graveyard there
bought
that got
back
milled
by
by
Emery
Emery.
next turn,
That's
probably.
sick. We
very
get to
good.
block every turn with it. We get to draw a card with it every turn with it. And now this is like the real, like,
The
Emery
what
engine
you want
that
to be
Noble
doing.
built his deck to be doing. We get a block with it every turn. If we're trading, that's even more insane. And if it's just hanging out chump blocking and then getting rebought every turn, like we're drawing
still
extra
pretty
cards,
great.
our opponent will probably feel like they just can't attack at all into that. Looks like Noble is going to make the pretty obvious block here. 2-3 on the 3-2, preserve his own life total. I think Noble correctly identifying that he is going to win this game if it goes on for much longer.
Yeah.
But he is going to have to take the 3 to keep his Emery alive to make that continue to be true. Looks like Brett still waiting for that Wolf's Quarry. And I think he has one other card in hand that I can't get a good look at. I think it might actually be... No, it's not that one. My bad. I don't know what card it is.
Downfalling the Night, it looks like, which is going to put it
Epic
into
Downfall of the
exile.
Night. That is
Very
quite
relevant
good.
here.
Yep. Get rid of that thing forever. It is another Tempting Witch. Alright. So, looks like we've got the Clockwork Servant coming back from exile, or coming back from the graveyard with the Emery. We get to draw a card, because we do pay Adamant.
Pay mana for it?
Oh, it's a Scalding Cauldron.
That's a Scalding Cauldron.
Got it.
Okay, great. I was like,
Excellent. Epic Downfall on a Scalding Cauldron. Another Tempting Witch coming in from hand. So Noble's probably going to feel pressured to kill these Tempting Witches at this point. They're going to kill him eventually here, and he needs to get rid of them. I'd be pretty surprised if Noble didn't just
Brett's got 4
go ahead
food,
and blow up a Tempting Witch. All right. Another land here from Noble, and I kind of think I'm just going to see a run back, right?
Yep.
Just get another Scalding Cauldron, kill another Tempting Witch with it, with the Emery.
Cast the Spell of the Brawl while you're at it.
Yep. Sounds like the plan to me. Let's go ahead and get back our Scalding Cauldron. Go ahead and activate it. Destroy the other Tempting Witch. Don't want him to be able to untap and 3 us. I agree with this line for sure. And then it looks like Noble's just going to hold up that didn't say please from earlier.
Sure.
As opposed to play the Spell of the Brawl. I think I kind of like that as well.
Yeah,
That being said,
a few things you can lose to, like Garrick off the top.
yeah, I'd be pretty confident that my opponent didn't have really anything going on right now, given how the last few games have gone. This is 3 1/1s. I think you should just counter this. It's a 6-mana spell. We left up our didn't say please. to counter a spell, and our opponent taps 6 mana and put a spell on the stack, I think I'd be pretty upset if we don't counter this, but
Yeah, but looks
looks like Noble has other plans. He just doesn't care. Which is fair, it's not that relevant, but, you know, we don't have infinite mana here.
Right.
We do have other things we want to be doing. And, you know, holding up didn't say please on every single one of our turns for the rest of the game is going to start being taxing. Noble getting back this Scalding Cauldron once again with his Emery. I think I would have preferred to see the Clockwork Servant on this turn, actually.
I certainly.
It would have taken us our Cauldron down. Looks like our opponent going to attack. We'll take 2 down to 8. Our opponent makes a food.
The boars make food when they die?
Yes,
Is that
they're
on the rules text? Cool.
Yes. Every time it is Wolf's Quarry is 6 mana, make 3 1/1s wolves with when they die, make a food token. Hengewalker coming down, and then that one is good enough for Noble to go ahead and say no to.
But then he cast the 4/4.
And he does have to mill 3. And then a 4/4 coming off the top, making another food. This is a lot of food over here,
This is
Brett's
a
got.
whole
It's
lot
going
of
to take a
food.
long time for Noble to get through all of this HP.
Here comes the Clockwork Servant.
Clockwork Servant's going to draw a card.
Just bake into a pie.
Bake into a pie. Obviously a good draw.
Pretty good against that 4/4.
Yeah. That being said, we should block the 4/4, right? Like,
It is tramp. I mean...
we have a 2/3 and a 3/3.
Oh, we have a 3/3. I
Yeah,
missed the
so
3/3.
we can just pretty happily block it, I think. I think that was a Back to Nature off the top from Brett.
Yeah.
Main deck Back to Nature. That's about to be pretty sick here, if that was in fact what it was. Looks like Noble is making the block we talked about just a little before. The Clockwork Servant and the Hedgewalker on top on the
Guess that was not a Back to Nature.
Figure Switch
then.
Stalker. Apparently not that. Oh, it must be a Forbidden Fruit.
Oh, foreboding fruit.
Foreboding Fruit. Yes, that is certainly what it is. That's a great draw here, obviously. Foreboding Fruit's going to allow him... Ooh, Brett's saving it for the burn plan, I think. I think Brett wants to save the Foreboding Fruit for the burn plan.
That's sick.
I can't say I'm really on board with that
I'm
one.
not either, but that's sick.
I guess that I respect it, but I think we just need some more stuff going on here. Like, our opponent's stabilized this board. We don't have any cards in our hand. We just need to do something this turn and next turn to be able to really hold up.
I have killed an above average amount of my opponents with Foreboding Fruit this set.
Yeah. Brett also not sacrificing any of his food on end step. He's keeping all of it in play. So
I think that's fine.
that maybe
You're 21, like
yeah, I agree. I just am
some
trying
more
to
witches.
theorize, what more cards might be in his deck. Perhaps a Feasting Troll King.
Yeah.
Well, obviously we mentioned Garrick a little bit earlier. If Garrick is in the deck, then that's going to be real hard to beat. Here's a Lochthwain Gargoyle from Brett. 1 mana 0/3 with 4 mana activated ability. Gets +2/+0 and flying until end of turn, which actually is probably just the perfect card here. With
Blocks,
it
it
looks
attacks, it does everything you could ever want.
with a couple more mana even, Brett can just double activate this and hit for 4.
Mm-hmm.
Noble, however, does still have that Scalding Cauldron, so I'm just going to take it out. Never mind. I take it back. Not the perfect card.
Yeah.
Brett's going to have a really hard time getting through these
Getting through Infinite
you know,
Scalding
last
Cauldrons.
4 points of damage or whatever to be able to kill Noble with a Foreboding Fruit, and I think he just needs to draw 2 cards here. I think kind of trying to kill your opponent with this Foreboding Fruit is kind of a pipe dream. So it looks like Noble's going to play, I believe that is Shambling Suit.
Mm-hmm. And a Hengewalker.
Yep. So we've got 3 mana artifact tribal going on
Indeed.
Noble's side of the board. It's pretty sweet,
It's
honestly.
it is looking pretty good here.
Yeah, Emery
even
has
though-
looked great this game.
Even though, can we get an exact food token count for Brett?
Yeah,
Is it 5?
I think it might be 6 or 7. Emery has looked insane this game, for what it's worth.
It's 6. Great.
Yeah, 6 foods. Okay, Emery has drawn like a Scalding Cauldron 3 or 4 times, a Chamber Sentry once, and Hedgewalker once. It's drawn like 5 cards or something like that, most of which have been removal spells that were very important.
Well, that's 2 Shambling Suits.
Yeah.
Oh, that's super sick. That's 1,000,000.
Yeah, this is an attack for
8, 11, 14?
Yeah.
16, 17, 18.
So many.
18.
Yeah. And
What?
Noble did not play his his lethal artifact. Noble did not play his lethal artifact for combat, so that was
Nice.
definitely not the correct choice. I'm gonna go ahead to say. And now Brett, looking, with food it would not have been lethal, obviously, but sick land, not gonna do it. Going to leave Noble open to make a lethal attack here. And with that, I think we're gonna be going to game 2.
I believe so.
All right.
There we go. Picking it up.
So, pretty nice game 1 there for Noble.
Yeah.
Emery
Very
looked
nice.
sick. We drew both of our rares that game. Both of our rares were great
Both
that
of our rares
game.
were insane
Gadwick drew us
that
3
game.
cards and was a 3/3 that then got killed.
Yeah.
Granted, it got killed by a combat trick, but still, we had our 6 mana draw 3 that also took a card out of their hand.
Yeah. Basically everything.
Brett's deck has a lot of combat tricks in it.
Brett's
It
deck
looks
does have a
getting into
lot of
combat
combat tricks.
with Brett looks to be pretty tricky, and I
Yeah,
think
not
Noble's
something you
mostly
really wanna
gonna
do,
want to
but-
stay out of combat
I tend to agree.
until he's comfortable.
Until he's got that like Scalding Cauldron lock or
Yeah,
whatever.
or he's got like the bacon the pie in his hand where he's
Yeah.
comfortable making a block that he's okay happening, and as soon as Brett goes for the combat trick, he can just blow him out with a bacon to a pie.
Absolutely.
That being said, a lot of his pumps are like Garenbrig Carvers, where like, getting your Garenbrig Carver responded to by a kill spell is such a
not
disaster.
nearly- Well, it's...
Because it fizzles and just...
Oh, it fizzles. Oh.
Yeah, it's such a
Indeed.
disaster.
I was going to say it's not as bad as a normal combat trick, but...
Yeah,
I
it's
am
actually
wrong.
even worse
But you're
than a normal
subpar card
combat
in
trick.
your-
Yeah,
oh,
it doesn't. You don't even get to take it on an adventure. I do not believe.
That sounds right to me.
All right, so it's like a Scalding Cauldron on turn 1 here from Noble. Brett leading on Gingerbread Cabin, and then following up with the Lockthwain Gargoyle. There's a 0/3 that you can pay 4 to give +2/+1 flying.
Really? Just,
Noble jamming out a Smitten Swordmaster, a 2-mana 2/1 with lifelink.
Yeah.
Here.
Just cannot believe that the Lockthwain Gargoyle is something you want to be putting in your limited deck, but,
Yeah,
Maybe
I
I'm
tend
wrong.
to agree. But, sometimes your sealed pools just need playables.
that's true.
And, here we are. I'm not certain what that 3-mana card is. Oh, it's a Shambling Suit of Brett's Own. Excellent. All right, and that is a Bell of the Brawl here for Noble.
Relevant here with that Smitten Swordsmaster.
Yeah, it's going to give +1/+0 to that Smitten Swordmaster and make it be able to attack through both of Brett's creatures, actually. It's super relevant. Shambling Suit is currently a 2/3. Waiting for Brett's bajillions of food. There is the Sir something of the Hammerhead.
Pinecone, I don't know.
Sir Pinecone of the Hammerhead. Sir Farvin. Sir
Sir
Faven?
Fane.
Sir
Sir
Farron.
Farron.
Sir Farron.
Sir Farron the Henge
yes.
Hammer. Sir Pinecone of the Hammerhead. Indeed.
Sir Pinecone the Hammerhead. That is a shark.
You know.
Noble debating his attacks here. I think I like just attacking. Looks like Noble is actually missing his blue mana, but Lost Legion, hopefully going to help him find it. There is the blue mana on top and a Mind Rot to go with it.
Yeah.
Question is, do we want a Mind Rot? Noble says no. And then decides not to attack. I'm leaning against the no attack plan there. I think we've got pretty good attacks here, and I'm willing to make some trades here while Brett's tapped out before he gets the chance to have combat tricks.
Exactly.
And if he's not blocking, then we're gaining 3 life, either way to pad the race a little bit and make that a little bit more palatable.
Yeah.
So I think I'm leaning against the no attack there. I think I would have liked to see the jam. Tempting Witch from Brett. Going to go ahead and make a food token. I think he needed to tap 1 more mana for that, but regardless, Smitten Swordmaster going to deal 2 damage to Brett, and Noble gain 2 life. And then I expect Island and probably just the other half of the Swordmaster. No, looks like Noble's leaning towards Queen of Ice currently, the tap down half of Queen of Ice. Looks like Noble wants to tap down the Shambling Suit, leaving Brett with the Tempting Witch and Sir Farron. Now how are our attacks? Attacks look good here. So Bell of the Brawl has Menace and is giving Smitten Swordmaster +1/+0.
And the other...
The other guy's a knight, right?
The
2/3 Lost Legion?
Yeah, that's what you want.
Yeah.
Is knights.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm just curious if it is a knight.
Yes, I believe
Excellent.
Lost Legion is a knight.
Excellent. All right, so all three power attackers here. We'll see. Noble pointing out it has Menace, and you have to throw that Lockthwain Gargoyle in front of it anyway. But Noble's pretty obviously just going to put Sir Farron in as first. As far as ordering blockers go, I think that card's far more relevant than the Lockthwain Gargoyle, especially when you have the Scalding Cauldron in play. Mm-hmm. You know, if you didn't have the Scalding Cauldron and you were worried about dying to a flyer, that's one thing. But I think you have the Scalding Cauldron, you don't need to worry about it.
Yeah.
Noble gains 3 life off his Swordmaster. So Pinecone, the Hammerhead Shark, goes to the graveyard. And
there's a pack of boars.
Yep. Brett is left with a Shambling Suit and a Lockthwain Gargoyle. Noble left with a Lost Legion and a Scalding Cauldron. Back to Noble as Brett just plays a land and passes.
1 land off the Boar Swarm.
Yep. Boar Swarm imminent. They're wolves. Come on.
They're boars. Wait.
Is Wolf's Quarry? Yeah, they're probably boars. They're
yeah.
probably the ones getting hunted.
Yeah.
Yeah, that checks out.
They're boars.
Oh, they're actually little
They're
pigs.
actually
That's so cute.
literally boars.
They're 3 little pigs.
3 little piggies.
Oh. I've never looked at the art that
Blow
closely.
your house down.
It's like Emery
Not
here
my
from Noble.
Triple brimstone
And then goes
trebuchet start.
That did happen to Noble.
I know.
So, quick catch up. Noble went ahead and played Emery, and then cast his Smitten Swordmaster from exile that he sent on an adventure from earlier. I missed the 4 cards he milled, and they're now off screen, so I'm not certain if we have anything relevant in our graveyard. But at the very least, we have this Scalding Cauldron that we can just start going off with.
We have assembled the combo.
Looks like Brett is going to play his 3 little pigs, and it looks like we're getting word from producer. There are no artifacts in the graveyard currently. There's only the in-play Scalding Cauldron. So here are the 3 little piggies. Noble with another Queen of Ice in his hand, and I believe that is a Hengewalker. It's either a Hengewalker or a Shambling Suit in Noble's hand as well. Draw for turn is Island. Pretty good draw, actually. We do want more mana to just go with our Emery here. 4 mana is enough, of course, to do the sacrifice my Cauldron, replay my Cauldron thing, and I think if we had missed, that certainly would have been Noble's choice. Looks like Noble wants to Queen of Ice to tap the Lockthwain Gargoyle.
We're just getting in.
Just send it in.
Come on and slam.
Send in with a 2/3. Brett going to triple block. Noble going to respond by Scalding Cauldron one of the 3 boars that were triple blocking, allowing Noble to just take out the other 2 for free. That's easy. You just mop them up. Yeah, just like that. 3 food, though, for Brett. So we got to keep that one in mind. Looks like... is that the...
Up to 7 food
Feasting Troll King?
Feasting Troll King. We got Hogak in play, gang.
Yikes. All right, so there's the Troll King I mentioned might possibly be in Brett's deck earlier. That's going to be a problem.
That is certainly going to be a problem.
I'm not certain how we're going to deal with that. If we end up with enough mana in play... It also has 7 food, by the way. If we end up with enough mana, we can set up over 2 turns a potential world where we go Cauldron, sack, bring it back, Cauldron.
Yeah.
But that costs 7 mana.
We have 3 turns to deal with this thing.
Yeah, and he also has 7 food.
And then we have 3 turns, and then we have...
Yeah, like we have a Queen of Ice in exile. Or 2, actually, even,
2.
I think. But we're still taking 4 when we're blocking it. This is not going to be easy to deal with.
Here comes the Cauldron. And then I would be surprised if we don't just cast Queen of Ice something else.
Yeah, we also have the Shambling Suit in our hand, so that's a potential option. but I think I would lean towards just casting the Queen of Ice in exile right now. Doesn't tell our opponent we have a Shambling Suit.
Yeah.
Just seems a little better. Noble says go. And looks like before he untapped, he wanted to try and kill the Shambling Suit. Brett responded with a Lash of Thorns to give it
+1,
plus
+2.
2/+1. Yeah, which ends up saving it. Lost Legion going to jump in front of the Shambling Suit. And Noble is going to be taking 7, 9 as the Lochthwain Gargoyle gets animated and sent in there. Draw for turn from Noble is a land. We're going to recast our Cauldron, cast our Queen of Ice, once again attempt to kill that Shambling Suit. This time we'll succeed. Interesting that he chose to kill Shambling Suit instead of the Lochthwain Gargoyle. I actually think he should have killed the Lochthwain Gargoyle there. No? Because
now it gets
Brett can activate it, and then Shambling Suit had 9 power. Oh, never mind. Never mind. There's 7 food in play. Never mind. Never mind. I thought that card still had 2 power. Yeah, my bad. I forgot about all the food. New set. Definitely correct there, Noble. Good choice killing that one instead. Looks like Noble's going to go ahead and take the 4 and offer that Queen of Ice up as tribute to the Troll King in order to give his life total a little bit of a reprise here. And there is the Savvy Hunter. It's a 3-mana 3/3 that whenever it attacks or blocks will make a food. Yeah, I think it's pretty safe to say that we're going to be going to the next game here pretty soon. We're going to need some pretty powerful engines here to be able to get rid of this. And granted, this Emry is doing work once again. It's really going off with the Scalding Cauldron. He keeps killing all of the X3s. Noble just killed the Savvy Hunter. Feasting Troll King's tapped for another turn. We still have another Queen of Ice in exile, I do believe. This turn, we're just going to take 2. It's not the end of the world. We'll get to be able to get our Cauldron back again, kill the Gargoyle, but oh boy, did Brett draw another thing? That's really bad if he did. Oh, he just double pumped, so Noble took 4. Excellent. Alright, another Cauldron here with the Emry. Cauldron's going to go ahead and take out the Lochthwain Gargoyle. Looks like Noble's going to think on it for a second. I'm not certain what that top card of his, or what the card in his hand is. Looks like we may not find out this turn. Queen of Ice from exile going to be the play. Noble's going to go ahead and leave the Scalding Cauldron in play now.
Wait until Brett commits his mana, but
yeah, make Brett
risky because now he can.
He could draw a combat trick, and Noble has seen a lot of them, so it is definitely some risk reward. But Noble definitely losing here, so I don't hate trying to take a riskier line. Looks like a Return to Nature in hand for Brett. Alright, Noble going to go ahead and go for the Cauldron here. Oh, did Brett draw a Garenbrig Carver? Oh no, not like this, man. Not like this.
No, this is not what you want to see.
I expect Brett to just snap off the Garenbrig Carver here if he has it. I mean, it's just lethal. So, or I guess it's not quite lethal, but it forces a double chump from your opponent. So it's
no, he can't block the Gargoyle that has flying, right?
Yeah, so he's gonna be taking 4 from that, and then he has to double block the Troll King.
Oh, great, yeah.
And only take 1 from it, so he'll go to 1. If my math is correct, he'll be taking 4 from the Gargoyle, 1 from the Troll King, and going to 1.
Yep.
Is that Foreboding Fruit you for lethal? No, it's just Return to Nature your something. Not certain what it was.
Exile the Scalding Cauldron, maybe?
Oh, maybe, yeah. That could be it. Alright. It is, in fact, exile the card in the graveyard. Noble makes a pie out of the
Lochthwain
Gargoyle. The Feasting Troll King does not untap this turn because it was dealt combat damage by the Queen of Ice. In comes Garenberg Carver from exile after doing so much work last turn. Top card for Noble is not going to beat Feasting Troll King. No surprises there.
Yeah.
And yikes. This deck looks a lot scarier with a Feasting Troll King in it, now that we know
true.
that. There's a lot of looming danger in all those foods just hanging around. I mean, we couldn't beat a Feasting Troll King the first time, let alone the next two that were all coming, and probably even 3. That being said, we are going to get a game 3 here, as Noble now knows what his opponent's really up to. I'm going to take a much more, much deeper thought about this sideboard here.
Yeah. As we saw in that game, Shambling Suit also taking great advantage of the food production that Brett's been able to...
For sure, yeah. The Shambling
together.
Suit looked really good there. Looks like a Witch's Cottage coming in here for Noble. Something in his deck he thinks needs to be coming back. Maybe needs more Gadwick.
A little more Gadwick, a little more Queen of Ice.
Yeah, just a little more everything. If maybe Noble is imagining worlds where he was Queen of Ice is going to be able to keep the Troll King locked down for enough turns that he's going to be able to just beat his opponent down while it's tapped, or at least make his opponent sacrifice some of the food in order to stay alive, so that the Troll King doesn't get a bunch of extra lives. But that's part of the other thing too. When you're trying to take out a Feasting Troll King, the thing comes with 3 food. That's 9 life. That's insane. When you're trying to just tap that stupid thing down and kill you on the backswing, they can just be like, all right, man, I'll just gain 6, whatever. And you've just destroyed a 5th of my 7/6.
Exactly. Yeah, the card.
Here's the Feasting Troll King on the screen. This one's been getting a lot of talk as far as standard goes too. People have been comparing it to Hogak, and I think that has been swiftly dispatched.
Yes.
Everybody was like, "Oh man, look at how sweet this Feasting Troll King Hogak deck is," and then pretty immediately everybody was like, "Yep, this deck's bad."
Certainly not a standard player yet. There might be some.
Maybe some adjustments will be made, or maybe some run bads have just been happening early. It's so early.
It's almost as if that card was made to troll Noble.
Yeah. All right. Looks like third game. Brett's going to keep his opening hand. Noble will take a mulligan. All right. Let's see what we got here. Looks like 7th card coming off the top. Noble will keep his hand, tuck an island to the bottom, and start things off with a swamp.
Our producers made a great point here that the 1 set blocks and the 2 set block of Kaladesh and Aether Revolt have really been creating some pretty parasitic gameplay where in older sets, cards like Feasting Troll King would get better.
Yeah, but it's very unlikely to.
It just absolutely can't at this
given
point.
That there will be no more
there
food.
Will be no more food.
Yeah, definitely true. So, Queen of Ice off the top here for Noble. Bell of the Brawl in play currently. Noble going to get in for 3 here. We'll see what his next, what his follow-up is. We've got, looks like, it's the 1-mana 1/1 with Death Touch and 3-mana adventure, Fellmire Knight, and 3-mana adventure of you lose a life and draw a card. So Noble goes ahead and goes on the adventure, draws a card, loses a life, and then plays the 1/1 with Death Touch just after that. This card's insane.
Yeah.
This card's so
Standard
good
player.
and limited. It's definitely playable in standard, and it's so good and limited.
Very, very good.
It's just a clean 2-for-1 for 4 mana. It's insane. Noble goes with the easy block on the Savvy Hunter. Brett does get a food out of the deal, so not the worst for him.
Yeah.
Definitely not as good as the full card that Noble got out of his Foulmire Knight. And, it only took his turn 4 to do that, and he's basically up a card. Looks like that is the 4-mana 3/2 haste. It is. And Brett, once again, playing it post-combat. This is the second time we've seen that. Post-combat Deathless Knights. And I don't think that's something you see very often. But these post-combat Deathless Knights are doing a thing. Noble here plays both halves of Queen of Ice. This turn taps down the Deathless Knight, gets in for another 3. Brett down to 14 now. And with a Queen of Ice in play is Noble. Untaps, plays land for turn, now up to 5. let's see what we can do with it. Looks like a Return to Nature in hand for Brett. That looks like the Fierce Witch Stalker. Oh, and that's the 5 mana 4/5 cat. Keeper of Fables. Whenever a non-human creature deals damage, one or more non-human creatures deal damage to your opponent, you get to draw a card. Combat damage to an opponent. You get to draw a card. Super, super strong card. And Noble's definitely going to need to find an answer to that pretty much immediately.
Yep.
Because just letting your opponent sit there and draw cards all game, while also getting hit,
Well, yeah,
not a
it's
good
like
plan. Not a good plan.
pretty impossible to recover from.
Looks like Noble just says go.
Let's hope he's got.
Sounds about right to
He's
me.
got a pie to bake this night into.
No pies in sight. It does look like we do have a Didn't Say Please in our hand currently. And Noble, I think, kind of correctly assessing that this is the turn that the Troll King will come down if he has it. Definitely need to counter that thing. But even if we counter it, it can just come back.
It's absurd.
And there's always the danger of every time I cast this Didn't Say Please, one of my just mill it. A stupid Troll King. So here's that Didn't Say Please. It has to counter the combat trick. 3, any of them Troll King? No Troll King. Whew. Noble really needs this double block to go through. He does have 5 toughness. Card only has 4 power. He does still get to draw a card though, does Brett, because damage all happens at the same time, so the card does see the damage dealt. And Noble is taking 3.
Assuming that last card is not a human.
Yeah, assuming Deathless Knight isn't a human, which it actually could be, but maybe isn't. Shambling Suit. There. The play. It's just not a human, so I believe Brett should have drawn a card. But maybe he did and we just didn't catch it. Looks like Noble's going to cast the Mind Rot half of Reaper of Night, making Brett discard 2 of his cards, leaving Brett with only a single card. So now he's going to be pretty sure that he's not getting Troll Kinged. Notably, Brett did discard the Feasting Troll King, and he does. I'm not certain if he has enough food to cast it, but he's about to. But those those boars look pretty good right now.
Yeah. I imagine the Noble's just not blocking boars for a while.
Yeah, but he's also not attacking.
Which
is pretty rough. You can give your opponent a second food, I guess. But even then, giving them a second one is rough, because as soon as they spike a card that makes food, and then you're pretty dead.
Pretty done for.
Alright, looks like attack for 3.
I don't believe there's any incidental graveyard hate in Noble's deck.
Unless there was some in his sideboard
Unless
that he brought in.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Alright. Looks like blue here, presumably coming for a Hedge Knight. Or a Hengewalker, sorry. I'll get that card eventually,
Someday.
I swear. Hengewalker with Adamant will receive a +1/+1 counter. Kind of just a measly, mopey 3/3. Gingerbread Cabin untapped makes a food. Yikes. That's pretty scary.
Oh no.
Alright, looks like an attack with everything that makes sense. The Deathless Knight and the Wolves. I think Noble correctly identifying he just needs to trade with that Deathless Knight. What's our plan here to beat this Troll King and or to beat these 1/1s? Like, do we just give him the Troll King this turn? Looks like Noble just wants to give him the Troll King. So Noble's going to eat 2 of the Wolves. Brett will get 2 food tokens. And Noble's just saying, look, get your Troll King.
Troll King. I'm going to try and beat it.
I need to beat it. So Brett will sacrifice 3 food token, leaving him with, I believe, 1 of them.
Yep.
And we'll bring back this Feasting Troll King. So let's see what Noble's plan to beat this Troll King is, because we're gonna need a good one.
I mean, Epic Downfall does it pretty well.
Epic Downfall does do it very well, but he doesn't have that in his hand yet. Looks like we have a bunch more dumb 3-mana artifacts.
Yep.
I think I tend to agree with Noble's assessment of we want to get rid of this. We want to get this Troll King now.
Yeah.
It shrinks the Shambling Suit by quite a bit. It makes it so every time Brett sacrifices a food, he would just be getting back a Deathless Knight that we couldn't really be taking either. So this makes Brett at least, sacrifice 3 of your foods, fine. Those aren't Deathless Knights. Yeah. Shrink your Shambling Suit by a bunch, fine. You got the 7/6 that I have to deal with, but at least I have cards in my deck that cleanly cleanly deal with it.
Yeah.
We also did kind of gloss over Brett at end step there. Did sacrifice a food, gain 3 life, and put that Deathless Knight back in his hand. So.
Yep.
And then he did just go to combat without playing it, I believe. Or maybe
usual.
he did play it and it is now on the bottom of the battlefield. I think that is also possible.
Yeah, it looks like it is in the red zone.
Yeah, I think I agree. So it looks like double block Troll King with 2 3/3s, trade with the Queen of Ice with the Deathless Knight, and only take 1 damage.
Yeah.
Not too bad. There is a
3/1.
3/1 sacrifice of food must be blocked. Mallowin Rider or something like that. There is a Tempting Witch and a Smitten Swordmaster. Tempting Witch comes along with food. Probably going to be used to buffer Noble's life total, not hit Brett's, if I had to guess. No cards in hand for Brett. Top card is a land. He draws it and plays it for turn. Let's remember that Noble has that really good 4/5 flyer hanging out in exile if he ever manages to find 2 more lands. So the next land's going to be kind of a bummer, but land after that, we're going to be in the pretty advantageous spot of lands are good, spells are good.
Yes, for sure.
Spell here, good. That is a Shambling Suit. It is a 2/3 currently, which is the same size as Brett's Shambling Suit. Brett draws a card, says go. Gadwick for 2. Island.
2 lands, great.
Yep. Not the worst there. If we ever find a way to get that Gadwick back, that's going to be really good.
There's the first of 3.
Yep. There's 1 food off of a Gingerbread Cabin. Was that correct? Just played Gingerbread Cabin for turn and made a food?
Yep.
Alright. So I expect land Reaper of Night here from Noble. I'd be pretty surprised if he played anything else, actually. It doesn't look like his hand's all that strong. It's a land and a something. Oh, it's a Roving Keep. I think I would have played Feaster of Night. Like, what are we gonna? Are we gonna attack with this Roving Keep next turn and then still not play our Feaster of Night? Like, don't we just want to get the Feaster of Night down first?
Pretty sure we just want
and just be able to attack with that, and then just have our mana up for the rest of the game to be attacking with Roving Knight.
Absolutely.
But, oh well, here we are. Bake into a pie off the top. That is an excellent draw. Now, all of a sudden, Noble looks like he's in a pretty good spot.
Yeah.
Probably just gonna play this
Like we're
Feaster of
jamming.
Night. Nope,
Nope.
just gonna jam. Just gonna try and end the game sooner rather than later.
Which I like here.
I think I agree. I think if you're playing the Roving Keep last turn, you should probably just be activating and attacking. Just make your opponent deal with this now and just commit that all of your turns are going to be going to that for a little while. Looks
There's
like
the 3rd food for
Brett
Brett.
is going to block with a boar, make a 3rd food. Yikes.
Land Troll King. Troll King gets baked.
Yep, Troll King will be a pie. And a good pie, I bet.
Yeah.
You ever made the Troll King into a pie?
Into a pie, that's got to be a half decent pie.
That's
at the
achievement
very
unlocked,
least.
yeah. Like, you can even see the little hand sticking out of
Uh-huh.
the pie. That pie looks good, though. Minus
It's
the whole
minus
monster
the
part.
whole, yeah, minus the whole whatever's in there part.
Yeah, but that looks like excellent crust.
Yeah.
Perfectly golden brown, excellently cross-stitched. Ooh, Queen of Ice. That's actually a pretty sweet draw. Allows us to play all of our spells a little bit faster here. Go for a little more of a high-tempo plan. I think I'm a pretty big fan. And it allows the Gadwick to just tap down other things.
Yeah, he should have tapped down a second thing with the Gadwick.
Yeah, it
right?
looks like Noble missed his Gadwick trigger. And then just went to
Unfortunate.
combat here. Yeah, Noble could have tapped the Troll King with the Queen of Ice, tapped the Shambling Suit with the Gadwick trigger, played the Queen of Ice, tapped the Tempting Witch, and then just slammed with everything.
Yeah.
But, proving once and for all that Gadwick's good, even without the second line of
Gadwick,
text.
Yeah, exactly.
It was an unfortunate trigger to miss, but alas, here we are.
Looks like he realized.
Yep, it appears kind of got the pouty hands there, but new set.
New set.
I'm
It
not here to
happens.
give anyone any shit for stumbling through all of these cards.
Yeah.
And people
I mean,
who've
we're
been
doing
paying attention to
plenty
the
of it
stream
ourselves.
have been more than aware of our struggles here. It's taken, I think we're doing all right this match, but we've had the luxury of seeing a lot of black-green cards and a
Yeah.
lot of Nobles decks, so if I was seeing two new decks every round, I'm not sure how well I'd be keeping up. Probably about as well as we kept up in round 1,
Yeah.
and that was not the best. But, we'll get used to it. Is that a golden egg off the top? It was. Golden
Draw
egg's
a
gonna
card.
cycle itself, draw another card. Also is a food, by the way.
It is
so
a food.
Can be sacrificed to Feasting Troll King.
Sick
Forest,
rip.
not the one. What's the other card in Brett's hand
I
there?
imagine it's a combat trick.
Is it Garenbrig Carver again? Ooh, is Brett thinking about attacking?
He has this something. It's not a carver.
Okay, I'm not certain what the card in his hand is.
What's happening?
Noble
Baking
baked
that.
something. Noble baked the shambling suit into a pie. Queen of Ice. Gadwick will tap the thing. Go to combat. Attack with everything, and that will do it. That brings Noble to a final record of 2-1. So that's gonna be it for these games.
Yeah.
Those were sweet games, actually.
Were very
super
sweet games.
sweet match. Noble fighting through the Feasting Troll
through the
King,
Troll King.
the combination of Gadwick and removal, and 3 threes trading.
3 threes.
So anyway, that is our last round for the night. I'd like to thank everybody so much for coming out and watching. And I would also really love to thank our last sponsor for the stream for tonight, Die Hard Dice. They are the best dice to play Dungeons & Dragons with. I've used Die Hard Dice in the past. I often use them for my D&D campaigns. If you enjoy Dungeons & Dragons, you want to have the coolest bling, it's a pretty minimalistic game, but everybody wants to have the cool dice to roll with.
Absolutely gorgeous dice.
These are great. They're gorgeous. They're just the perfect amount of heavy. They feel great to roll. They have excellent custom dice trays as well for Dungeons & Dragons. And I highly, highly recommend you guys checking out dieharddice.com. Link is on the screen right now. And thank you so much to Die Hard Dice for sponsoring the stream. And with
Thank you,
that,
everyone, for tuning in.
thank you everybody for checking us out. We will be back soon. Go ahead and make sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and also just hit the follow button on the stream right there. It's in the upper right corner. It's a little heart. It's totally free. It doesn't cost you anything. You'll get notified when we go live next. And we will see you guys for either some Modern or some Throne Standard in the near future. Thank you guys so much. Have a good night.